Yo, 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 what's good, my people? It's your boy. You know it is Jason Guna. We're back in the building, people. Yes, Jason Guna TV. We're here. We are here for another episode of Reasoning Time. It's episode 12 today. On the agenda, we're going to talk about the Reggae Girlz. Sorry, tough games coming up. Also, we're going to discuss the Jon Russell narrative. Yes, the Jon Russell narrative. And we're also going to talk about the analytical gap. Yes, I had a discussion this morning on IMAXI football. I wanted to expand on it a bit more. I thought it was pretty good discussion that was going on, and kind of gave me some thoughts on some reasons behind why maybe certain areas of the pitch for Jamaican football is a bit more difficult to export those players around the world. And I think I have some reasons behind that. So yeah, we're going to discuss those things. On this program, we like to talk about relevant topics in the Jamaican space, or ones that I deem to be relevant. So today we have three different topics we're going to tackle. First one, as I said, the Reggae Girlz tough games coming up. We're going to talk about, is this the right time to be taking these games, based on what we have seen in the most recent times with the Reggae Girlz. We have two opponents coming up that are extremely difficult. We're going to take a look at the rankings around the world and see where those opponents rank currently. And yes, you would have known if you follow Jamaican football what I'm talking about. So we're going to have that discussion today. Also, we're going to talk about the Jon Russell narrative. Why I'm calling it a Jon Russell narrative. I think there are some details of the whole conversation that are being omitted by those who are bringing the narrative to the table. And I'm just trying to figure out why that is the case. And we're just going to talk about everything regarding that whole situation, we'll call it, with the Gold Cup Prelims and Jon Russell representing Jamaica versus St Vincent. And then, of course, what I want to close the show with today is what I have last in the title, and that is the analytical gap. Yes, people, the analytical gap. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that and how I think we can close that gap moving forward. All right. So that is what the show is going to have today. Yes, I want people to get involved in the comment section. Excuse me. If people would like to hear their thoughts on the channel as well, I will have a call-in segment. So just let me know if you guys would like that to happen at some point today, so you can join in that way as well. But in the meantime, please do let your thoughts be known in the comment section. These conversations and topics are there to be discussed. This is not a class, so you guys can participate as much as you would like. And I definitely will take the time to highlight those comments, as long as they are running in line with what the show is about. All right, people. So first and foremost, people, it would be remiss of me to not, well, before I do that, let me just say we are on YouTube, right? So this is a YouTube program. We could have done this many other ways, but we decided to choose the avenue of YouTube. And for that reason, I would like for you guys to please smash the like button. That's the first thing that you guys need to do for me. Smash up the like button. It is very, very important that we get the show visibility up by showing them that the people that are here do actually appreciate the content. So the best way to do that is to smash the like button. Then also you can share as well. There's a button on the screen that says share. You can share it within your peer groups. Anybody that you know that follows Jamaican football, loves Jamaican football, wants to be a part of the conversation, let them know Jason Gooner TV is live, so they can be a part of the conversation and hear the information that could help them to, move forward and be more knowledgeable on certain situations. And then also, please do consider subscribing to the channel. That way, whenever I do go live, when you subscribe, you hit the notification bell. As soon as I hit that live button, or I drop any recorded content, you will be the first to know, as it will pop up on your device right there. You click on it, you drop your like, you share, and you repeat the cycle, right? So yes, as long as we all do that together, the channel will continue to grow as it has been. And we are very appreciative for all of you guys that do take the time to share the content, like the video, and to support the videos by watching, commenting while we're live, or even dropping comments after the show is over. We really do appreciate all the engagement, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If you are just making this content for yourself, I don't really think it's going to help anything, right? So you want more people to watch the content. So we have to do our part and let people know that the content is even there to be watched, right? So I am looking down right now because I am doing my share of the work. I am sharing it into some groups that I know might want to hear about what I have to say in today's conversation. So that is why you see me looking down right now. But in due time, people are going to get going and start to run the show the right way. All right. So, yes, I am sending this around because I want everyone to hear the information and be a part of the conversation. So, yes. Man say he's watching me via Paramount Plus. Well, if you're watching me via Paramount Plus, I can guarantee you that it's probably a little bit delayed because Paramount Plus now around for show you things after. I tell you. Big up, Sean. What go on? I know you not send me the thing, Sean. What go on? Big TV. Yes, big TV settings. All right, cool. Well, there's a huge like button on it, so just smash it. Bless up, Martin. Big up yourself. Also was a part of the convo this morning. Good convo. Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in, Martin. We're gonna go down into some more discussion today. I know he's a person like to hear all sides of all stories. So yes, this will be a good program for you to tune in, Martin. Joseph Brown, bless up yourself. One Bounty. One of the best album cover them there. Yeah, we're gonna do a simultaneous up along, you know. I know Tottenham playing, I know Man United playing. I picked both teams to lose, you know. So we'll see if my prediction them turn out to be right. Bless up, Lee. You are going. Big up yourself in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Yeah, man. We're outside. We're outside. So today, as I say, is reasoning time, people. So reasoning would mean that we're going to hold a reasoning. So yes, I might be the only one on screen with a camera and a microphone, but you guys' comments are also the stars of the show. So please do, at any time, feel free to drop your thoughts on whatever you hear being discussed. As I said, it's very interactive, this program. I like to include you guys because I could just record this stuff and put it out, but I think the energy that you get from the live show, I just like a little more. So that's why I tend to do most of my content this way. All right, people. So big up on yourself. I had some time today. I want to make sure I got this content out. Tonight, I want to have some time to the farm. So yes, we run out to find a little time in the middle of the day. We can do it before training late and all those things. So yes, we are here, people. So please do the things you're supposed to, like, share, and subscribe. All right. No more chattings, people. Let's get into the conversation. So the first topic today is the Reggae Girlz Tough Games. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is just because we have seen in the recent history of the Reggae Girlz, we had a window in Jamaica where we faced South Africa, right? We were successful in both of those encounters. I think in that selection of South Africa's team, we were a little bit helped out by the fact that they, were missing a few of their main players that might have, been a bit more internationally known. They had some injuries, they had some situations where players had to pull out, and they weren't maybe at their full strength or their best. We're able to get wins there. We also had a window where we traveled to Peru after the South Africa window, and we were able to win both of those games as well. But, when you look at Peru's ranking in the world, maybe that was a bit more understandable that we were able to win those games, right? So, I think the overall consensus after those two windows was that the team, you can see that the team is trying to go in a different direction in terms of playing style. Maybe we were still a bit worried about the defense and, how open we were at times. We kind of put that down to, the system being newer and the system being a bit more front foot. So maybe that would cause some more openings around the back, right? So we kind of tried to give the coach a bit of grace, I think, in terms of the public. Don't think it was too much of a beating. And at the end of the day, he won the 4 games. So how much can you really beat him, right? Now, I think the first time this coach has faced true scrutiny, even though it must be added when you look at the fixtures here, and I just pulled them up on screen. We did face Brazil twice before the Olympics. Those games were very tough. We lost both games 4-0. Could have been worse on both days as well. When you look at the players that played in those games, pretty much the core of Lauren Donaldson's team with a few additions. Kanya Plummer made a return to the national team in that window. But for the most part, it was a lot of the holdovers from Lauren Donaldson's setup in this team that went to Brazil. When you look at the bench players as well, the likes of Soleil, Paige Bailey, Gale, Cameron Simmons, all these players would have been kind of, introduced in that Lauren Donaldson era. The likes of Cardoza would have come a bit after. Jade Bailey as well would have been a holdover from Lauren. So a lot of the players still around, not much change in terms of the player selection yet. Then we move into France when we played that one fixture in that window. And we got some players in for this window that maybe we hadn't seen in a while. Hales had represented before, but was out of the picture for a few years. She was back in the fold. And Taylor Hines came in as well. What we learned after, the restrictions for this particular fixture were a bit less because Taylor Hines clearly has not sorted out everything needed to play the official FIFA games as yet, and we haven't seen her return yet, right? The same goes for the likes of Natasha Thomas. I thought Rihanna Blaines would have been in that boat, but clearly she is further along in her process because she is still playing with teams in more official windows, right? And then you see the rest of them there. Michaela Day is one that has gone. Can't see her again ever, but she's not around. So yeah, we have try to see Busby implement new players into the system. But for the most part, the core has stayed the same. Now, my question is this. If the core of the team has stayed the same for the most part of this girls' team, do you think that it's prudent on the part of the coach to be trying to change the way that this team has gotten success in the past in terms of the way they play, the playing style, more progressive, more front foot? Because it's one thing to do that against the likes of South Africa and Peru, who, when you look at the most recent world rankings in the world of women's football, it looks a lot different than the likes of France and Brazil. Brazil right now in 8th position, France in 11th position in the world. When you look at this list now of rankings around the world, Jamaica is currently ranked at number 40, right? And we face South Africa, who was 54, and we face Peru, who is all the way down at 77. So again, this whole kind of like system change, style change that we're seeing implemented, I am wondering, is it something that's even possible if the core of the team is literally the same as before? A team that we have seen against certain opposition, if we don't have a certain setup, maybe we're not quite equipped to play this technical style and still stay in the football matches. And I think the evidence of that is in the fixtures and the results against these teams that I'm talking about. So when we faced South Africa, ranked 54, we faced Peru, ranked 77. The games were winnable games. Yes, if we're analyzing, maybe we weren't fully satisfied with those performances either, but at least we were able to get results. And that, in some ways, can be beneficial to the team. Regardless of how well they're playing, they just want to get the feeling of winning games sometimes. That can help you, right? So, again, when we face these other opposition, and Mexico was the team that I was looking forward to us playing for a couple of reasons. I put the losses to France and Brazil down to newness of the coach, trying to implement a new system with players against teams that have their systems nailed down and players that are firing. I would think the results would be what they were. The Mexico was a better barometer for me because even though I think Mexico is currently better than Jamaica, I don't think that Mexico is quite to the levels of the Brazils and the France's, which is arguable because I think Mexico is close. They're not very far off of them, but I will say that those teams are probably just a notch above still. So I was thinking this Mexico game would be a good barometer to see, okay, can these players really try to change their system from a more reactionary system, defensive, solid setup, transition, counter-attacking style to a more front foot, we take the game to you style. And I think based on the evidence of the two Mexico matches, we may be trying to go too fast. We need to find a better middle ground between how we used to play under Lauren Donaldson and how it looks like Busby would like the team to play. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I feel like we may have jumped the gun trying to see if this type of thing can work against certain opposition. the Mexico's games that we played, look at the momentum in the match. Look at the goals. Jamaica barely not in it in the first game, right? When you look at the statistics of this game, it's going to tell you even worse picture. Surprisingly, the possession was not crazy. But the reason I think for this was Mexico, if you know, under this new coach, the Spanish coach, one thing I think he has implemented is a bit more directness in their attack. And I think they realized that the spaces were so open, they didn't need to necessarily build an open space. The spaces were there. So they didn't really need to possess the ball. So I think this was more just Jamaica being so easy to get through, why the possession was so close, the 57 to 43. Now, part of it, yes, it must be said, Jamaica trying to keep the ball better. I can give the coach that. You can see that they want to try to keep the ball better. But again, do we have the personnel to do that against certain opposition? I am not fully convinced of that. So some level of pragmatism is going to need to be found by this coach if we're going to get results in some of these games we have coming up. The reason why I wanted to talk about these games, the USA on the 3rd of June, and it's not listed here, but we also have confirmation that on the 29th of June, they're going to be taking on the Lionesses from England, in England, and that will be their Euro send-off for the women of England, right? So, for me, I need to figure out from this coach, what is your plan and what is going to be your approach when we face these opposition? Because we're going to have to find some level of we're going to have to find a middle ground. I think we're going too far in one direction too fast. And when we face these teams that are very good, it is going to be very tough to get any results that don't make us want to hide. I don't know if you guys agree with me in the comment section, but join the discussion and let me know. Bless up Courtney Scarlett, big up yourself. Thanks for joining J Anyway the Sports. Big up yourself. Yeah, man, tap up the screen. Make sure you're liking the video. We Maxi Football dropping a €2 on the board. Big up, respect. What's the name again of the show? Yo, Shana, you are joking. Bless up Jason Gooner says Chris Smith. Big up yourself. 1 JD, 1 IMAX it. Royalty in the building. The Elder Hall in the building. Bless up, son, and everyone in the chat. Big up, dad. Yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. I know you're busy right now. Martin, Sean, bless up, says Chris. Donkey concert, Sean. Yeah, that. I think he should keep the old style shape of the team. So Lee is saying he's more agreeing with what I'm thinking in terms of the shape. Now, Lee, I don't disagree with the coach trying to find other systems to implement in games. But I feel like what I've seen from him is an inability to adjust to the situations when we're facing these adverse situations. You cannot just get 3, 4, 5 love in the name of getting somewhere. You have to be able to try to do both at the same time. So you try to implement these systems in the games that call for that, but in the games when you need something different, you have to show me the ability to do that, to do something different, and I haven't seen that yet. Jason, you should be doing an app watch along to the Man U Leon game. All Man United fans were praying Arsenal battle it. Yeah, I would, but I only tend to do the watch alongs for the big league in Europe, which is Champions League. Not joke. I was considering it, Maxi, to be honest, but there was a lot of things going on in the Jamaica space that I wanted to speak about, and I know that the attention span is not so long, so I had these things I wanted to get off of my chest. So I just did the show today. But as you mentioned, that I have it playing here, so there will be plenty of opportunities to have my hate in the program. So don't worry, Max City. It might not be fully about them, but it's a reason I'm doing it at this time. I'll be online when those things are happening. So don't worry. I'm a bit apprehensive about our final touches in front of the target. Yes, I would say technically we're still showing a lot of deficiencies in areas. I said it in the last window, like the only player technically that really impressed me out of every single player was Sade Adamalokin in midfield. I mean, I was very impressed with her. Some others as well, but some of them never get that much game time for me to really evaluate. But I thought Sade in that second game was impressive, man. Honestly, USA match are going to be rough. I'm telling you. Yes, I agree, Jason Gooner TV. Have to try to play better teams differently because we do not have those players yet. Yeah, and I think that's a part of the reason why Lon Donaldson got some beating from the fan base in terms of being scared and all these things. But I think he was just assessing the situation and doing what was best to get the furthest. And, while some may say that's kind of, not doing the best for the development of the team, I think if Lon Donaldson had a time to go through a cycle where he would play Peru and play this team and that team, he would show different phases of his play, because you can see as a coach in the women's league in the US, he doesn't just play one style. So, he assessed the situation with the Reggae Girlz in their group and said, this is how we're going to get the results. And he did that. So I thought he got a bad rap in terms of being labeled a certain type of coach due to, assessing whatever situation he had to face and facing it the best way he thought, would get us the best results. Which I don't know how anyone can argue he didn't do that to the best of his ability. For us to get out of that group, seeing who was in the group before, that was massive. And if it took drawing nil all and getting a 1-love or whatever it was, then that's what it took. Jason, we may run from it, but the Hal Grimson style with strong defense is the only thing we can play. Yeah, first responder, look, I think, and I sometimes might be guilty of this too, because I was around back in and I'm going to say the words, people, I know people are going to get upset, back in 98, when Simoes was the coach. You can find phases of play in those teams where you said, damn, that's Jamaica. The passing and the movement was incredible, but I don't think it was ever a sustained 90 minutes thing. I think, yes, there would be more phases in the game where you would see Jamaica put 10, 15 passes together and do some nice things and get the ball up the pitch. But it was never really a sustained thing. And most of those games were Barrett making some rotted save. Even if you look at Jamaica's best moment on the men's side in the senior game, we won the game 2-1, people. But anybody may have begged on, go back and watch the 98 game against Japan. Listen to even when Theodore Whitmore scored a goal, the first goal he scored to take the lead. The commentator said, even with Japan all over them, Jamaica take an unlikely. Brother, the man them hit with posts, hit the crossbar. Was it Barrett or Lawrence playing that game? Well, I want to say they gave Lawrence a chance to play. I don't remember. But whoever was keeping that day, them man make some rotted save. And we were under the cosh for most of that game. Now we won the game. You can't take that from Jamaica. We won the game. But I am sorry, the way I look at football, I have to look at everything. And clearly Japan could have won the game on another day. It's not like we just beat them up. So I say all of that to say, sometimes we romanticize things more than we need to. And it is what it is. We have never been a team that play top teams and can just ball them off the park. It's always a counter-attacking, stout defensive type of setup. That's how we get success. Thank you, Cygnus. I had a feeling that because we were mathematically out of it, they just let Lawrence get a chance to keep in the last game. Yes, and he had a blind of a game, if you remember the game. Thought same about game. Thought about making trip to take my daughter to US game, but maybe embarrassing. Yeah, look, I feel like the score could be something. It depends on the approach. I think if we swallow our pride and we set up the team, stoutly and the way we can, because we have seen Jamaica hold out teams that are better than us, but does the coach have that in him to do that? It doesn't look like he really wants to have Jamaica play that way. But we just have to live with, openings and a lot of chances, and whoever is keeping on the day, Becky or whoever else, them have to just stop a whole heap of shot, because how we're setting up of late against these teams, we're going to be conceding goals, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, big league, man. More curious why US took this game to try out new players. That's an interesting one in Dallas. I think with the window being, because remember, the USA not only playing us in that window, the USA also gonna play China right before that. So with the competitive nature of the US national team, with Emma Hayes as the coach now, I don't believe that there's gonna be any kind of, because the game against China is on the 31st, and then they play Jamaica on the 3rd. So that, in a sense, will probably be the same squad for that window. So I don't envision them not picking, maybe because of the opposition being China and Jamaica, maybe they go a little less, maybe players that have logged a lot of minutes. But I think what's going to happen with that US squad more than likely, because remember, the US Women's League will be going on at that time. I do think, though, that is an international window in that time. So I want to say that the NWSL, the Women's League in America, that they do honor the international windows, because, of course, they have a lot of players playing around the world in that league. So I know the MLS continues to play, but I want to say the Women's League might stop during the window, I don't know that to be fact, though, but I feel like they do. I don't know why I feel like I know that they do. I'm trying to see where China is. Okay, so China is ranked 17. So, I mean, yes, USA should have enough to beat both of those teams, but also USA typically do not play around with their squad selection. And especially since Emma Hayes is there now, I think she's still trying to learn everything. So she wants to really put the best players out there together to see. Yes, they probably, try to implement a few new ones, but I don't think it will be like just a overhaul of all the ones, especially the ones from Europe. I would like to think that those would be the ones she would maybe lean on as well, because their season would be ending. And I don't think that their summer is so busy to where, they'll probably get that last time and then get their holiday before they have to go back to their clubs and stuff. So, yeah, I think the US team, now the England team for sure that we're going to face at the end of June, that will be the send-off for the Euro. So that will be like players trying to kill each other to make that team. So that's a game. Maybe the USA game, you can find some areas to say, boy, maybe USA don't come with them strongest team or something. But that England one, forget about it. Lauren James, all the top player, them, Leah Williamson, all of them. If him fit, she'll be playing. All the top England girls will be there. Julie Brands, all of them. That you don't have to worry about. Now, this is the ranking. So we're going to be facing the number 1 team in the world, USA, and the number 4 team in the world currently, England. Those are our 2 next opponents. So we'll play on the 3rd of June, and then we're going to play England on the 29th, both in away games. I think the USA one is in St. Louis, where Jamaica just played recently against the USA. And in England, I don't know why I want to say the game is at Leicester. I think it's the King Power Stadium they're going to play that game. So any Jamaicans, whether in St. Louis or close to St. Louis or over there in England, Leicester side, yeah, man, look about getting your tickets based on the opposition. And typically when the women have international window games, if they're available, they do get the players. So I wouldn't expect any different for these 2 games. But I think the more important part of this whole conversation is, do we see the coach being pragmatic enough in his approach to be able to make these games not 4 loves, 3 loves, 5 loves? That's what we really need to see. Can this coach have a different mentality when he's facing certain teams? Yeah, so right now, currently, as I said before, people, Jamaica in 40th position. Of course, the best we have ever gotten to was 37 in 2023. So we're not too far off our best ever placement in the world rankings. I think I've heard Busby say that, he'd like to be a perennial top 30 team in the world, 25 to 30. So You know, we're definitely playing the opponents that could get us the points to get there, but we're definitely not doing well enough in the games to make any movement. You see, we just had some recent games, you know, they didn't even count the Mexico game. So that 4-love, 3-love will hurt, I'm sure. So we'll see where we are in the next rankings, which should come out June 11th. So that will be right after the USA game again. So my gosh. So people, we can't keep on getting these 3, 4, 5s, man. It's just not good. Curious why US took that game. Saw that. Jason, the man them a call you tuku this morning from JD. Yeah, but see I said that in a real baller, but not even no, I'm not even gonna pull up my driver's license and show you the metrics here, man. It's alright. Yeah, I know 98 is a bad word. Sorry, I had to say it though. You can see a pattern of play now, or at least attempt to develop a pattern of play. Players like Russell will help the midfield, not Sule or Anglin. Okay, so Max City gone in the Jon Russell narrative. We'll soon get there, Max City. That's the next topic. We're going to talk about the whole Jon Russell situation in just a few moments. It was Lawrence. Yeah. First responder say you're spot on. We lose all senses after we pass the half line. Just play good defense. As a fact, if JA was other teams, we would not watch that match. Very unattractive. Okay, yeah. So you're saying some of the times if we weren't Jamaican fans, based on what we're seeing, we wouldn't watch the football. Yeah, I think you might be right sometimes in a first responder. If them, I know my father would agree because he always a cuss him can't watch the games, you know. If them still use that little youth, then we are doomed. Oh boy. Emma has been pulling every Thompson sister. Yes. If your last name is Thompson, Emma Hayes wants you in the team. So any Thompson out there takes maybe 1 week up to 2 weeks. Okay. Got you. Went to last China USA game. There are a lot of bench players starting. Okay, so Dallas is saying the last time they bucked China, it was a similar thing. Okay, well, if President is there in a Dallas, that is I like working with President, you know. Let me see. I'm actually have the USA games pulled up here. So let me see the last time they played China and see if I can make sense of what you're saying there. Okay, so it was 2023. They played them in December. Okay, so but you have to remember, you know, that December 12th window, you know, what was going on in the world of women football around that time. But I'm looking at this team. What are you talking about? Sophie Smith, Rose Lavelle, Trinity Rodman, Lindsay Heaps Horan, Emily Sannett, Naomi Germa, Dal Kemper, Emily Fox. How much more of the ball do you need for $50? Unless you did go the second game. Let me see who played the second game. Them give them 2-1 in another one, yeah. Because if it was a 2-game thing, you know, I can understand if you go the other game. All right, this one had Germa again, Tierna Davidson, that is starting centre backs. Nice one, as she gone Arsenal. She's a big baller. Emily Fox, Sam Coffey start, Sonnet start. Who this? Lynn Williams, not a starter, but always in the team. Lauren Hatch is the only one. Ashley Hatch. She was somebody them kind of bring in, and she's a good baller as well. Then off the bench, Margaret Purse, Sophia Smith, Trinity Rodman. No, man. Dallas, is either you know the US team or you just say that. Because I'm looking in 2023 in December when USA played China in 2 games. That is USA's first team, big man. First team. Them play upon the first team. So Dallas, I don't know why you thought it wasn't the Stars. Maybe you never realized that Alex Thomas them retired. I don't know. Don't see this coach set up his team to hold out on better teams. No, we're not seeing it. Signal said, good point, Jason. We're not that dominant in that Japan game. That is why I cringe when I hear people say, look at Japan's progress versus Jamaica. Yes, even in that game, you could have seen which team was a little more technical and have a better system. It was different, coach. That is true. It was different, coach. Disappointed they didn't use the young girl. But, you know, to be honest, you know, Dallas, if you remember, you know, even at this time with the women's team, you know, she wasn't there in the flesh yet. But she was still like you know, letting them know, you know, what kind of system she want and stuff. I'm pretty sure this was around the time when that was still happening already, because was it Twyla coaching them in this game? If it was Twyla, you know, let me check. Twyla Kilgore, I think her name is. Yes, this Twyla lady, she's definitely she was basically like the figurehead, but it was really Emma telling her the players and stuff and all of that, and they were trying to implement her system and all those things. So she was still involved, man. Disappointed they didn't use the young girl from the U20 in the last game. Yes, man. Jelia should have played, man. I agree totally. Bless up DJ Gigs. What go on? How is Bonnie doing? Is she still recovering from her injuries? Yes. To my knowledge, she's not fully recovered. Still recovering. Yeah. Yeah, because they just got back from window and she wasn't in the squad. The last time I know. I think the last game they played was the FA Cup game where they lost 2-0 to United. I think this was the semi-finals, yes. And yeah, Mary Fowler up front, no Bonnie on the bench. So still recovering. Still recovering. Sad to say, she's having a struggle with the injuries this season, you know? Happened to the best of them. Big up Conrad, Wagwan, One Ravel. Nitro, bless up. Who is the coach, Jason? Busby's situation looks spooky. Well, you know, me and the speculation channel Real Baller, so I don't have any definitive on that. I just know certain things make you kind of wonder, you know? But they have another game coming up in St. Louis, so we'll see what's going on then with the coach, you know? We need Donaldson back. I wouldn't be opposed to it. We play so open, like we have the players to do so, yeah. Wow, Kenya is up to 7th. When that happened? No, man, they're not up to 7th. They moved 7 places in the ranking. They were the highest climber in the ranking. So they don't reach to 7th, but they climb the most out of everybody in the last window. And Tunisia was the biggest drop. Yeah, because when you look on CAF, Kenya in the world is 142. But you know, they went up 7. Tanzania went up 7 as well. But I guess maybe they had a few more points or something. I don't know. So yeah, that's what that means. And Tunisia make a big drop. But yeah, that's pretty much the conversation for the Reggae Girlz, man. Tough games. And just so you guys know, I'm sure you'd have seen the news, and JFF has reported it as well. But you know, this is what I saw on the US Women's National Team Instagram page. Macario picture. It says the women's national team will now face Jamaica as the opponent on June 3. I forget which team was the team that dropped out, but they did have a different team lined up and had to change and pivot, and the Reggae Girlz were stepped in, right? So that will be on the 3rd, the start of June. We shall see how that goes. One thing I didn't really check, you know, that's kind of early. When do all these damn leagues end? So the last Super League fixture should be around 22. And that's on the 11th of May. All right. So I think Champions League and them thing is the only thing after those dates. So, all right. So most people should be good for a June 3rd window. Hopefully they make themselves available. You know, most professionals want to play the best. The USA is the best women's team in the world. So I would think that any player, you know, that's serious about their craft, serious about this thing, they would want to play an opportunity like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get every player that would want, that is eligible to play. And then just to confirm, on the second fixture, which will be at the end of the month, on the Lionesses Instagram page, the most recent post they made, as you can see at the King Power Stadium, for the final time before Women's Euro 2025, the Lionesses will play Jamaica in Leicester at 5 p.m. on Sunday, June 29. And you see a little quote from Serena Weigman, their coach, We will do our best to put on a good performance and make it a memorable send-off moment for both the teams and the fans. For both the team and the fans. It's an important milestone in our preparation. So yeah. Also saw some quotes where she was saying, the Reggae Girlz are a decent team and she's happy for the challenge of facing them before. So yeah, that is basically the news as far as those two fixtures. Again, look, we can't on the one hand say, boy, why the federation not getting any opportunities to play any big friendlies, and then we get the big friendlies and we cuss. So by no means do I want people to think I'm cussing. All I'm saying is this. If we're going to get these high-profile teams to play in these friendlies, we're going to need to find a better balance between trying to progress the team and the style of play and all these things we want to implement, and being able to play the damn games and not lose by a million goals. Because at the end of the day, these official fixtures, even though they're friendlies and the points might not be as big, they still count against you. So I know in this next window, there's a chance that the June 11th window, after the two fixtures with Mexico and the fixture with the US, we might be less than number 40 in the rankings. That's a big possibility. And we don't want those things to happen. So it's very important that we find a balance. And that's my plea to the coach. When we play the teams that we are, supposed to be beating, those are the games we need to be taking these risks and chances. I feel like in these games where we are probably not at the level of the other team, we need to be able to be a bit more pragmatic on the day to try to get some results. You can still implement certain principles, but you have to keep the foundation secure. And I don't think this coach has been able to do that effectively enough so far. Losing 3-0 every now and again is one thing, but literally every team we have played inside the top 30 since this man has coached us, we get 3-0 at least, and we can't score no goal. So something needs to give people where that is concerned. I don't know if you guys think I'm being too harsh, but I'm just saying we need to find a better balance with that, with the results and what we're trying to achieve in terms of implementation of a style. All right, that's my take on all of that. So people, that's the first segment of the show, the Reggae Girlz Tough Games, where we are, what we need to improve, how we can get better, and how important it is if we're going to take these games to find the best way to approach these games. Yes, so that's the first segment, people. Let's move into the second segment of the show. Let me get this on the screen. Actually, we're going to talk about this gentleman right now, and there's a lot to go through with this topic, because I think there's a lot of things going around now in the Jamaican YouTube space in regards to this player. And I just feel like maybe some of the information is not being shared all the way. And I don't know if you guys agree with that sentiment, but maybe after I go through what I want to go through with this conversation, you guys might actually see it a little bit more like I do, right? So let me get on the screen. Let me get a file on the screen here. Yep, so there he is, Jon Russell, people, Jon Russell. Now, Jon Russell, of course, as you should know or would know, is a part of Barnsley setup in League One in England. He's been quite a bit of a revelation, I would say, this season, when you look at his numbers with the team. And it's something that I think we need to really look at the history of him with this team as well, to really make sense of why I think it's been such a successful season for him. Jon Russell, of course, a player that came through the Chelsea youth system, was a part of a very, very star-studded U18 team in particular that ended up winning the championship at that level. And a lot of the players that would have been in that system, many of them would have moved on from Chelsea, him being another one of those. He's had spells at Accrington. Also, for a very short stint, then he joined Huddersfield from the under-23s of Chelsea in 2021 and stayed there until 2023 when he moved over to Barnsley. So he has been to basically two clubs since leaving Chelsea in fully. He went to Accrington really on loan during his academy time at Chelsea, but has found a home at Huddersfield for a few years and then about a year and a half and then moved on to Barnsley after Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield was in the championship at the time, so he does have championship experience as a player as well. And, you know, he has been called now to Jamaica a few times. He currently has 4 caps total for Jamaica. I know you would think that he would have more caps than that, right? But he was called to Jamaica for the first time in the Nations League. That was this 2-all draw. You see the picture on screen there. That was his first appearance for Jamaica. I think that's literally when he came onto the pitch for that game at 2-all. And I thought his cameo looked very impressive. You know, we saw him collect the ball in midfield, progress the ball forward. We saw one of the better through passes we would have seen in the entire game that day in his time on the pitch that he produced. And I just thought that it's a player that, just from his cameo in that first game, I would think would be of interest to any coach of the Jamaica national team. Now, that would have been in March of 23. Then we move down the line now into June of 23. There were some friendlies right before the Gold Cup that took place in Europe, and he was there for that camp. That would have been Qatar and Jordan. He started both of those games, lasting a little over 60 minutes in both. And I guess based on those 3 performances with Jamaica, of course, the Nations League, and these would have all been under Hiram Halgrimson as well. I must bring up, that's who brought him into the fold. You know, he was called up to the Gold Cup team. Now, at the Gold Cup, I thought, surprisingly, he only really got 1 half of football to play. He didn't play in the USA match that we drew 1-all. He didn't play in the 4-1 Trinidad win. He ended up starting the game against St Kitts, scoring a goal in the first half, but was substituted off. And from what I understand, he was one of the players that was really struggling with the heat, because I remember that 3rd match against St. Kitts would have been played during the sunlight and the daytime in California, I want to say. And I remember that day, of course, it's July, so it's going to be the hottest time of the year in the States. And yes, that was at Levi Stadium, which I believe is in San Francisco, I want to say. So yeah, that would have been the pitch conditions and everything would have been tough. And I heard and I understand that he was one of the players that really struggled with the conditions. So he lasted a half, thought he was good in that half he played. So there's basically 4 chances to see him play over the span from March to the Gold Cup. 2 of those times against Qatar and Jordan, he started. You know, I thought he was okay in those games. I wouldn't say he was like lighting the place on fire, but I thought he was okay. He wasn't terrible. I thought his St. Kitts and Nevis first half performance was good, and I thought his 24 minutes plus injury time against Mexico was also good. Then we fast forward into the Nations League after the Gold Cup. That would have been the September after the summer. He was not called in the September or the October windows of that year. I remember at that time, you know, he would have just not so long before that, he would have been made his move to Barnsley. So he made his move to Barnsley in January 23, and we're talking now down in the September part of 23 now. And there was a spell when he was at Barnsley, because we want to talk about everything, where he was not featuring as much as he probably would have liked. And that would have been during the 23-24 season. Remember, he moved from Huddersfield to Barnsley in 23, January. That would have been the January window. So he's there to end out that season, 22-23. Then 23-24 now, in that March time of that 22-23 season, he makes his debut with Jamaica, right? And that would have been from his performances at Huddersfield moving into Barnsley. The coach would have been tracking and trying to see if he can play, gets his passport and everything, plays in the March window, plays in the Gold Cup summer, not called back for September or October. So let's continue. So that's where we are now. He does not get called up for the October, for the September or October windows of 23. Okay. And in those fixtures, those were Nations League fixtures. This is still Jaime Hallgrimson that we're talking about as the coach, right? So everybody's following along with the timetable of the whole Jon Russell history with the national team. Right? So after that, we move into the Nations League finals in November. Now remember, we play Honduras and Haiti, Grenada and Haiti in the September and October windows of 23. Jon Russell is not called. We move into the Nations League finals now where we're going to face Canada. Jon Russell is called for those two games, but Jon Russell is an unused substitute in those two games. So he travels to Jamaica. That was the window when the game had to be postponed due to the weather till the next morning. You know, that madness happened, and then we had the big win in Canada to get to the Nations League finals. So he's in that squad. Then we go to the Nations League finals. He's not called for that squad, right? Then we go to World Cup qualification in the summer where we play Dominican Republic and Dominica. Still under Hallgrimson, remember, before the Copa. Jon Russell is not in any of those squads. Then we come down to after the Copa. By this point now, Hallgrimson is gone, and we are to face Cuba and Honduras in the Nations League under the new coach Steve McLaren. Right now, keep in mind, people, all through this time, even the Nations League semi-finals that he got called for in November of 23. This is a season where it's not going the best for him at Barnsley. So when we roll around now to the Nations League finals and it's March, if you look back, I personally wasn't asking where Jon Russell was. Now, when I look at the squad that we took, I feel like Jon Russell could have still been in it. But at least I could look at it fairly and say, okay, Jon Russell is really not kicking on that club at Barnsley like I would really want him to. So even though I think that there's still space for him in this midfield selection, I'm not going to kill things. But again, some of the personnel decisions, we're trying to play Damian Lowe in the midfield. And I know that I have a player like Russell out there. It don't make sense to me. But form-wise, I could still understand an argument against Jon Russell. Then we move into this season now when we get into the September window. Jon Russell is called up in that first chance that he gets, right? McLaren to call a team. Russell makes the team. That's for the Cuba-Honduras window. We host Cuba, we go to Honduras. We drew with Cuba at home. We beat Honduras away 2-1, right? He's in that team, but he's an unused sub for both games. After that, his Barnsley form, I would say, takes an incredible upturn. Basically right after that window. He starts to play much more regularly. He starts to score. He starts to contribute more, winning player of the match, getting in team of the week, just doing well. He's not called for the October window after being an unused sub in the September window. We make it to the Nations League quarterfinals. He's not in the squad to face the USA. We get to Gold Cup Prelims, and by this time we're into 2025, where it's just a whole time of consistency from Jon Russell, from those October times, November times, right through to now. And he's not in the Gold Cup Prelims team. So, me personally, in press conferences, sometimes I have access and I'll be in there and ask questions. I've asked about Jon Russell personally, and I think it's been one of the more crazy sound bites we've heard from any press conference since this coach has been here, when he stated that, yes, he's aware of the player, which we know you're aware of him because you called him already. But what was shocking about what he said after that was he has a friend that has told him that Russell has been a revelation these past few weeks and this season, and that you are going to have to start to keep more tabs on him now. So I'm saying to myself, a player that came into your team in your first window you called, is a player that you're telling me that you need to start to keep tabs on. So if you're keeping tabs on any players around the world, wouldn't you start with the players that you first were using or that you first thought would be in your team? Why would a player like that need for me to ask a question about, or for your friend to tell you how much of a revelation he is for you to know what the player is up to? That don't make any sense to me. Anyway, that's just a history of Jon Russell and Jamaican selections. Just trying to put everything into place. Now let's get right down to the matter at hand as far as the Gold Cup preview window or the Gold Cup prelim window, right? So in the Gold Cup prelim, we saw a squad revealed by the JFF, a squad of 23 players that was what the coach would have said is his main team, or not main team, but what the coach would have wanted to be his squad for the matches against St. Vincent. And I'm just going to find for you that original 23-man squad, okay? And there's a reason why I'm going to do this in somewhat of a chronological order, because I think it's very important to the whole storyline and how the information should be processed, okay? So this right here, people, is the squad of 23 players that would have been called for the Gold Cup prelims where we face St. Vincent in a home and away tie, right? And you will look in the midfield and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 midfielders: Isaac Hayden, Joshan Anglin, Bobby Reed, Sule McCullough, Casey Palmer, Tyreek McGee. We don't see anyone named Jon Russell here. Now, somebody will say, okay, Jason, Jon Russell ain't there, but that don't mean he wasn't called. Now, let me explain something to you. Jon Russell has a player on his team currently that is in his team in League One, and that player is Dexter Lembikisa. So Dexter Lembikisa is on loan at Barnsley, not featuring nearly as much as Jon Russell is with the team, that has to be said. But regardless, the same correspondence that the JFF would have made to get Dexter Lembikisa, they would have had to have made to get Jon Russell. And the reason why I know that Jon Russell wouldn't have been contacted at the time when Dexter would have been contacted is because when these players get called for national duty, international duty, these clubs put out something stating which players have been called. And when that original list would have been put out, Jon Russell was not on it, but Dexter Lembikisa was, right? And if you look at Wolves as well, their parent club, they did the same. So my question is, why wouldn't Barnsley, at the time of them releasing all their internationals that would have been called for the window, why wouldn't Jon Russell be included in those players? The club wants people to know that their players getting picked, So they have their incentive would be to make sure people know. So it's not like them would have hide that from anybody. And the reason why that is important now, because League One and League Two and some of the smaller or the lower leagues in these countries don't stop for the international window, teams have a provision in these leagues where if they get a certain amount of players called, in League One, I believe it's 5 players, as long as they reach out to the league early enough, they can get special provision to postpone the matches in the window. So it is imperative to these clubs that anybody that want to get playing for any international team in that early stage where they have time to get the postponements, they would have to get all the names then. So in other words, Lembikisa going to Jamaica, 2 more youth going Scotland, 1 going Ireland and 1 going Wales somewhere. So that's 5 players. But let's say the Scotland man them drop out, they're not going again. So it's 4 players now and not 5. So what happens? What happens now? The reason why Jonathan Russell even comes into the picture is Casey Palmer, even though at the time of release, the club said, yes, we'll release him. The club then asked the Jamaica Federation to try to find a replacement for Casey due to a flare-up of an injury that he's trying to get over. Jamaica wanting to have good relations with all the clubs, says no problem, and they seek to replace Casey Palmer in the team. Now, when they seek to replace him, they say, oh, we need a midfielder. Jon Russell has been playing well. Let's get Jon Russell. Now, at that time, when Jon Russell would have been contacted, it is after the team would have had the ability to reschedule a game, and also after the team would be able to prepare for having certain people not in the team over this time. So Jon Russell is faced with a decision. Jon Russell is faced with a decision, right? Jon Russell needs to decide, am I going to go to play with the Reggae Boyz? Remember, I've just given you the history of Jon Russell time with the Reggae Boyz, I've just given you the history. The man get called for multiple windows and don't see the field. In fact, the last 2 times that he has come for a window, he has seen 2 games played and don't play. Not saying that should influence if he comes or not in the future. I'm just saying we have to think about these things as well. Is he going to leave a situation where he knows his team is already down some players because some of them did go away, but they didn't have enough to postpone a game, and come to Jamaica where, he could be coming to just make sure that they have enough numbers because most of the time he don't play, right? So what I don't understand about this whole narrative that I've seen is how come all this information that I am saying today, I haven't heard on any other place? Is it that I am any more able to get information than anybody else? No. Everything that I have amassed to even talk about this is literally there from the click on this machine I'm using to do this video. So why is it that they don't think that this information is just as important as telling us that he turned down a call-up? Because even if you look at what I have seen referencing this whole situation, right? That's the Barnsley Chronicle. I've seen a lot of people reference the Barnsley Chronicle. And I keep saying a lot of people because I know some of you might be thinking this is to a certain individual or whatever, but it's not just one individual. It's multiple people that I've seen. It's why I wanted to do this video now and not let the time pass, because it seems to be the flavor of the week right now that we need to say that this another person has turned their back on Jamaica, called down Jamaica, whatever the case is, turned down a call up. But look, this Barnsley Chronicle article and the way it was worded, I would liken it to how I've seen the Jamaica space talk about it. And they've literally ripped it from this article. Russell turned down Jamaica call to play for Connors Reds, right? Because this article as well do not give the type of depth of what I just said, me telling you the situation. I don't see that in here. Jon Russell turned down an international call-up from Jamaica last month to keep playing for Conor Horan's Barnsley. The interim head coach has revealed. Midfielder Russell has 4 caps for the Reggae Boyz, now managed by former England boss Steve McLaren, but has been a regular starter for the Reds for the first time this season. Russell, who scored twice in a 4-1 win over Bolton on Saturday, has said he would like to play for Jamaica regularly in the future, including at the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the summer. He should have had a hat-trick, and I would have been delighted for him. That's what the coach said about his last performance. Jon is underappreciated, says the coach. He's a really good footballer who can handle the ball. He's bought into everything I've wanted. I've always got on well with him, even under the previous regime. So, of course, this has been an assistant at the club, under the last coach, and the coach leave and they give him the work. And he said Jon has been good throughout the entire time. It said over the last international break, there was a chance for him to go to Jamaica, but he stayed because he wanted to play for me, and I really admire that. He's someone I really like as a person around the place. He brings a little bit of different energy. I connect with him really well. He put a big performance in for me, and I am delighted. So that was basically the crux of the article. Why the article didn't dive into well, you know, it wasn't the initial call, and we have other players going to Jamaica who were able to go, but it was because the timeline was correct for us to release them. And basically, they didn't put into the article that it was a decision that he had to make in that moment that he knew could affect his club even more than if the decision was being made in the moment when it could not have affected his club as much. Because I found out that he would have gotten correspondence to go to play the Jamaica match in the same week of the Jamaica match. So you tell me, people, you have a game to play. The first game against St Vincent was what? The Sunday night? Was it a Sunday? Hold on, I'm going to tell you in just a minute. All the historians in the chat, let me know. I wanted to say it was Saturday and Tuesday. Is that how it was? Or Friday and Tuesday? I think it was a Friday. I'll tell you in just a second. The 21st of March. So that's a Friday, no? Yeah, the 21st was a Friday. So it's that Sunday, Monday, them reach out and say, can you come for this window? The man have a game with Barnsley that him training and preparing for that Wednesday. And him have a game that weekend, you know. And him have a game the next week, you know. So that's a 3 game where the club think him going to be there to play. That you only don't give them no time to prepare without him because they have him in his plans preparing with him in the moment. And now the narrative after the fact is that the man turned down call up. So you guys tell me, because I'm not a genius, you know. I only can decipher things and try to figure out things and then tell you guys what I find. So now that I'm telling all of these people, why do you think the narrative reached to him turn down call up when all of that information mix up inside of everything? What I'm just telling you. Why is it that the end result of all that information would turn out Jon Russell turned down call up, Jon Russell committed question mark, Jon Russell can stay where him there, Jon Russell can do this and do that? And another thing that's interesting to me, people, Jon Russell wasn't the only player that they tried to get in after Casey pulled out. There was another player from another club that played for Jamaica before that they tried to get. And it could not happen because of what I've just described to you. So they could have, yes, they could have done that and left their teams, you know, up, you know what creek. But they decided not to. But why is it that Jon Russell will take in Setan? What is it? What is it? And why is it that we can't actually just give people everything and let them decide what they want to decide? Why are we trying to like steer people to a direction or another? If you notice, you know, what I notice about this platform, my platform, a lot of the people in the comment section, you know, I see on various sides of this argument, you know, people where are staunch supporters of one thing and people were against the other thing, all of them there in them comment section. Yeah. You know why that is? Because me not normally tell people what them supposed to think. Me just give you know, I give you guys a way to try to have an informed opinion. But I don't try to give you the opinion. And I think that's why different people that normally gravitate towards certain content might come here as well as go in other place and come here still, because I don't ever try to tell you how to think. But if you want to think and break things down, the best way to do that is to get all the information. So that is what really I try to bring. Information that will make you understand things a little clearer, so that when you see things coming out, you can at least know what questions to ask the people bringing the information to you. Not because I'm not saying every other people can bring information to you, you know, but I'm saying, why is it that when some forms of people bring the information to you, they leave out some of the pertinent information that's very pertinent to the situation and to understand it? Let me see what the comment section I say, because I've gone on a quite a rant and trying to break down, but I had to get to my point before reading anyone else's point about this whole situation. So let me go back through the comment section and see if anybody have any other thoughts on what I'm talking about here. But for me, this whole Jon Russell narrative that I'm hearing, it really disgusts me, because even if you feel like you feel away with the situation, that don't mean when you bring the information to people, you can't tell them all the information. That's all. Just bring all the information. Max City said there are two types of YouTubers in the Jamaica YouTube space. The ones that give you facts and the ones that twist the stories for a clickbait. Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, look, you can't, at the end of the day, YouTube is an entertainment thing. So I know that there are people in the space that literally, because I've heard them say it, I don't need to watch no football, I don't need to whatever. I just need to know that I just need to have my talking points and bring my vibes, and people will watch the show, and I can get my clicks and my super chats and whatever. And look, everybody want views and super chats and likes and things, but I mean, surely you want to do it. Surely you will have enough belief in yourself that the content that you bring, even if it's rooted in facts, can still have value and still garner views and likes and whatever, because people will still appreciate you standing up for what is the real, and not just running down what you think will get you a viral moment. I don't know. Man, you up 1-0, people, so I can't hate and look like them are pressure too. Yeah, man, they say too slow. I know for a fact slower players are best in that position. How old is Russell, Martin? Russell is now 24. He'll be 25 in October. So still a lot of his best years ahead of him, Definitely. Still a lot left to give, for sure. He's pretty young, yeah. Gordon say too slow. That's why he keeps on saying to the coach. My gosh. Levi Stadium is in Santa Clara. Yeah. What was throwing me off, is Levi Stadium is, I'm pretty sure, where the San Francisco 49ers play. So that's why I was thinking San Francisco. But I have to remember that a lot of these teams, even though they might name a certain city, due to how the city them build now and build out, and some might be more residential now and blah blah blah. A lot of them stay in these little smaller cities outside of that actual city. So that's the case with San Francisco and Santa Clara. Yes. Okay, he's 24 and Jay does not want this midfielder. Hopefully he's in World Cup and Gold Cup and get some game time. Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, look, even Martin, to be honest, unless him just can't manage the load of so much, he would be eligible to play in the Unity Cup too, because League One's final games are like the 3rd of May, and Barnsley is too far down out of the playoffs to play anytime after that. So potentially he could be a part of a Unity Cup squad too. Potentially. He play okay, yeah. This man get a few minutes with Jamaica and people are saying slow. Yeah, the slow argument is madness. Martin Baker, in the article, his coach said his aim is to play in the Gold Cup. These YouTubers pointing out he rejected the call-up are just JPL promoters. Okay, it's just hypocrisy because Boza didn't do a call-up to focus on his club. That is true. And people were very understanding, Maybe since Russell been at Barnsley, they're not looking at it the same, because they were saying it's okay because he just went there, So maybe that is it, Max City, I don't know. One Ravel, if he's not in the team, I am sorry to say we're not going to the World Cup. So Conrad is saying, listen, man, Ravel is the key, you know what I mean? And people, he's the current midfielder that is on form. That is true. And he's been on this form for a while. It's long. It's a long time where he's been like that, No, I said November was the Nations League quarterfinals, is what I said. Yeah. The Canada window. If I said finals, I misspoke. I know it was quarterfinals. Yes. Man, them bad mind Russell. He probably a terrible player when it comes to training, but I don't know. Because every coach will ever coach him say he's this technical guy. So I don't know when him show them him have this technique. You don't know. The coach sounds like he didn't know about him. Yeah, it was shocking, man. It was shocking. I was like, he was in one of your squads. You don't know him? So that just goes to show that September window was very much so it was a, what you call it now, a meeting of the minds, pick that first team, because the way I answer the question is like him friend telling about him, but I'm like, bro, he was in your first team, you don't remember? You never play him, but he was there, he was at training, and he's like 6'7", so I know you remember him. Big up Juras, make them know. Yeah, man, bless up, bless up, bless up. Richard Green semi-correct, 100, all right. Jay say interesting. Triple E, blessings. Remember, he said Jon need more playing time. Yes, he did make that statement at one point. And again, even in my breakdown of the chronological order, there were many windows he wasn't in it. I never thought to ask a question about him because I thought, okay, he's not in the best nick of form at his club. So I understand. Ooh, Legia Warsaw, try a thing. Them score one already and nearly score a second. I think if Chelsea make that team, I beat them. Well, it's not my intention, My intention is just to expose the information. It's not about exposing any people. If people get exposed based on the information I expose, then I can't help that. You know what I mean? Sherlock Gooner. Yeah, man, we do some little, I had to put the pieces together for this one. Martin said, this is what I call an educated video. Yeah, man, we have to try, man. That's the only way you can. I think these are the type of videos that will stand time. Like some videos that you see out it's for a phase, it's for a fleeting moment. But things like this where you can get some kind of information and value and it might make you pre things a little differently and start to look at everything. Let's you get one back. Where's a call unseen? Yeah, me never call nobody name, but see one name call it unseen. Him better than a lot of man we pick. They say me smarter. No, me not go just say that, It's not just smart just because me just born with no smartness. It's just me just do the simple checks and research and then I come to a better place of understanding. Just trying to please local man them. So Conrad I call out every name. Jeez, bees. Do you think Jon Russell has the ability to play as a number 10? I think he has the ability to play as a number 10. I think most of the coaches that he have had so far see him as a more deep line player. So I think that might be the disconnect. I think in his brain, he wants to be a more attack-minded player. And I think most of his coaches see him as a more box-to-box-ish or even 6 type player. And I think that's where maybe his development hasn't kicked on to where it should have, from like the Chelsea structure to where he is now. You know what I mean? Yeah, Friday and Tuesday. Thank you. Have a listen to what McLaren said in the pre-match for the first leg. I know that will provide clarity. All right. So Simon is, and I agree, Simon, the coach himself touched on these things, That's why if you notice, I'm not framing this in any way on the coach or the JFF themselves, If you notice, this is about the Jamaican YouTube space. So I'm trying to figure out how this narrative is even available to them when the coach settings, when if you check anything that's going on in the world, how you're framing it is not how it went, and it should not be framed that way. Because even as you said, the coach said something in the press conference as well. So yes, that's why this video, you don't hear me beat no coach or beat no press officer or beat no team manager. No, I haven't. Can you tell why no one is talking the statement of the coach made about the football education of our Jamaica-based players? Because it don't suit, it don't, they wouldn't talk about that because it's not necessarily in line with some of the other things they say. So they can't really talk about it too much because it would be contradicting. That's what I think, One Drift. Because comprehension is JA's biggest problem. It is a big problem, that is true. Because he's a diaspora player and they want to push there. Okay, so it's basically about where the player reside. Okay. The other player would have been Karai Anderson. They also tried to get him after they had some difficulties getting the original people. And similarly, he decided to stay with his team. So when players drop out and they decide to go with JPL players, it's an acceptable thing to do. Calling them late is now considered unprofessional. That's a good question, Rob Smith, honestly, because if you're balanced about the whole conversation, I am looking at it from the point of view where the player himself doesn't want to do this disservice to his club and leave them in a situation that's untenable for them. But what you're saying is, if players do happen to drop out or get injured and they request not to come, I have to pivot and go somewhere else. Rob Smith, here would be my question, and Simon is here. Maybe he's still here. Hopefully he is. But my question would be this. When the management team reach out and send these things out, is it that they only send 23 of those? Or wouldn't they have maybe like a 26? So they have some alternates that, for all intents and purposes, they are released at this point from their club, but the guarantee hasn't been made. So in other words, you have to put out a squad maybe a couple of days before the last weekend of play. And a couple of the players that you had in your squad didn't come through those games fully fit. Wouldn't it be more prudent then to have 3 to 5 players in an alternate pool that you have already spoken to the clubs about? But you told them, okay, once we get the medical reports from these clubs now after the weekend's games, we can give it a yea or nay. Is that something that could potentially help with this situation arising again? Because you can't just depend on the 23 because you know that there's games to be played. So you know what I'm saying? There must be some proficiency in place for that to happen, because that's gonna happen. That's football, right? So that's what I would like to know. Is there any safekeeping you can do to guard, or safeguarding you can do to make sure that these situations don't occur so frequently, or you're not dealing with it's a 50-50, the player might want to stay with the club or not. Is there a way to put provisions in that pool that you call, to have some alternates there that you can just call, and it's not a situation where you're calling to ask, but you're just calling to say, yes, we need them. So you've already asked and they've said yes, but you're telling them you're going to have to confirm on the Monday after the last Sunday games played. You see what I'm saying? Is that something that we could do in the future? I don't know if Simon is still here, but hopefully he is, and he can answer to that. Because that's what I would think would be the best way to go about it, I would think. Don't know if it's something that they have thought. I'm sure they must have thought about these things, but this is why we have these conversations. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. It wasn't Daniel. It was what name there, Karai, because he's playing good and the fans are seeing it. So after fight player, we're good. Rob Smith said, I'm more responsible than that. The reason why people are not as upset is because Jon Russell is the flavor of the month that everyone is saying should be called. Okay. So you're saying why it's him name coming up is because he's the one that people really advocating for currently, and not so much the other one. Okay, fair enough. Jason, you don't push narratives. That's what make you different, because League One don't stop for FIFA dates. Man is on a good form. Why him should sit on bench for Makala? Yes, Simon, I saw it. I'm seeing it. You guys are up 3-2 in the tie, but it's a long way to go, my friend. And Leon is going to not, because basically Manu has been all over them this game, I would say. Well, not all over them, but they're playing better than them. That won't be the case the entire 90. So let's see when you guys face some adversity, how you hold up in this one. Because Leon look like them getting into the game now. Onana is in goal, so anything can play. Cross, far post, poor defending. Jeez and peas. Ainsley Maitland-Niles would want nothing more than to score on Man U today, and he got the chance a while ago. Tagliafico to the far post. Poor defense from Euro and Dorgu. And it really came at him quickly still. Would have been tough to keep that on target, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know why it's an issue now either, and that's what I don't understand, Rob. Like, why we even coming out now with this turn down call up business? Like, why you wouldn't just make a video about that on the time? And it's probably because they needed somewhere else to say those words. And the minute the Barnsley Chronicle put out an article with turn down call up in the title, they was like, yes, no, we can put this out now. You know, it's like, come on, man. Agree, Jason Gooner. If we use the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why, we can always have thank you. But we focus on the whichever W's fit what we want to talk about, that's what we do. We don't even worry about the other W's. We can say, where are the other W's? That's the only where. Where are the other W's? Trust me. Sometimes we just got to stop defending madness and just call it out by doing the right thing. Yeah, Russell is 24 October. Yeah, October he'll be 25. Bless Jason. Credible information is way to go. Big facts. Absolutely, Tycoon. This narrative by such vloggers and their talking points is just the start of false narratives to come. GFF has their agenda with such vloggers supporting them. Yeah, Nitro, I was naive to that whole thing, to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I just said, people that really like hang them hat and just, whatever people want them to push. I mean, they don't have no kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I was naive to it though, Nitro. I'm going to be honest. But being in the space now and kind of seeing how certain things go and, knowing information that I see come out, I'm like, it's only one way you could have known that, So, so you kind of can tell who is being fed certain things, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, hopefully people can, as I say, people can decide for themselves and don't become sheep. Like, I don't want anybody ever to say, anything Jason Gooner say a gospel. Because in my information gathering, I could have been fed false information. I could have gotten wrong information. I can also sometimes decipher the information incorrectly. So don't think that, I am infallible of being wrong or all that stuff is possible. I just want more people to, analyze whatever's being said rather than just accepting what's being said. That's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. Yeah, the point about the stadiums being somewhere else. Exactly. There you go. This coach named Phil Jackson. Please leave him alone. Them man in diaspora will never believe nothing from a heritage player is involved. Come on, Travis, but it's not about heritage or local. It's a case-by-case thing with me personally still. So it no matter if him did forward from Jamaica and there Barnsley and it's the same situation, me still would have highlight what me I highlight today. Just so happen Jon Russell don't born in Jamaica. But if Leon Bailey did there Barnsley or Damian Lowe there Barnsley and him never in the original squad, them call him, which leaves it then up to the player and the club to decide, then there's a possibility Damian Lowe say, you know what, my club can't do without me for them 3 games, And Uno could have do without me because never call me. So, Nitro spot on because the article clearly say he wants to play at the Gold Cup. That should be in headlines, that he rejected the call up. Yeah. One of the videos I saw, they did read the article, so they said that part, but it was not necessarily a highlight of the article in their mind. It wasn't something that they harped upon so much. As a matter of fact, I want to say one of the people I heard talking about it, it was almost used as a negative against the player. Like, Oh, so you're bigger than Gold Cup Prelims, but you want to play the actual Gold Cup, type of thing. Respect first responder, yeah, man. The coach is so funny at times, like he's under Jerry and his nephews. To be honest, it's fake news and Russell, and that's a fact, me G. MG just running with fake news. That's tycoon. He said that about Ravel too. You're not gonna miss nothing what him say about Ravel. That me know, Conrad. You should call bloggers' names. Stop beat round the bush. You are one of the problem. No one Jamaica, no time for me. Yeah, so Travis is consistent, people. That's one thing you know what you're gonna get with Travis, and I can respect that. Him not change him out. Let's be real. Some of these so-called facts-based bloggers use alternative facts. Still waiting on people who call Pinnock our best player to treat him how they treat people when he get bench. Interesting take there. So Rob Smith, maybe it's because I don't always do like Jamaica only content, because if anybody that follow my EPL programs, and sometimes you're there as well, Rob Smith, and I have frank and honest conversations about Pinnock. And I even stated last week, I mentioned, not this past week just gone, but the week before, I said that this is probably the first time I can remember under this manager that Ethan Pinnock has been fit and don't play in the starting lineup in a Premier League game. And it was Vandenberg who took his place, the young Dutchman. And I said, listen, I'm going to watch towards the end of this season how this season play out, because it looks like in the pecking order for the coach currently, he likes Vandenberg over Pinnock. And it's 2 games in a row now, we see that happen. So, I mean, look, you could be right on some people not being talking about these things, but I definitely talk about it. Maybe it's that in my Jamaican reasoning time content, I haven't really talked about that at all. But when I make content about the EPL, of course, I'm going to talk about the Jamaicans in the EPL. And part of the conversation I had two shows ago was tracking to see if this is a permanent thing where Pinnock is now the third string, or the not in the first 2 center backs, because Vandenberg and Collins start the last 2 games over him and he's fit, right? So, look, I can't speak for everybody, but I know I don't stay so. I will speak true about every baller when I play good, play bad. Me no business where them born people. I just look at how them played, how they treat Bailey. Okay, yeah. So if it was Bailey on the bench, yes. And I think a part of that, Rob, is it comes down to, like, I think anybody that feel one way or the other more, right? So anybody who thinks that the heritage players get away with murder, anybody who thinks the local players get away with murder in terms of like how they're scrutinized. If you think one way and you're a content creator, you feel the need to defend the side that you think is being scrutinized heavily. So I think that's what ends up happening in the space. People see a need to defend the rights and the way how we talk about the local players. So they champion that. Then other people think, them are give the people them forward overseas a fight and them hold them to a different standard. So they champion that. Me just champion the information that me champion. I have the article on Barnes the News, a screenshot sent it. Okay. I don't see Pinnock name in anybody's mouth, and there's articles out there about his benching. Okay. Lati been benched for over 2 months, and the same people that said their fear haven't said a word. That is true. Lati under the manager is getting much less time under Lampard. That is a fact. I understand there's article out there, but it's misinformation, Miji. Okay. Them I talk about the article. One Pinnock best CB for Jamaica, get some rest ball and come strong. Steve is just another Phil Jackson eating a food. Lati, if he did a play in JPL, you would never see bench levels to this. Said so some players not even can smell the level. Because if they call a JPL player instead of Russell, people would have an issue. You have to consistent in your opinion. Bias in any direction is xenophobia. Yes, I agree. And that's why I say the people that champion one side, them just deaf to what the other side saying. And to me, it don't make no sense, because in a sense, both saying the same thing. That people should just be judged regardless of where them address is. That is it. But you see, the problem, Rob, is when it comes on to the players that we're bringing in, we have a lot more information to say if them good or bad. When it comes down to Jamaican players, and that's a part of the last topic, we are leading to the last topic perfectly, the analytical gap. If you say to me, Jason, how is Travante progress this season in Serbia? We can go to places and type in Travante Stewart name, and it tell me everything when I want to know. It give me the heat map of where I'm on the field. It give me how much big chance he miss, how much ball carries in a game, how much recoveries in a game. It gives you every damn thing you want to see about the football player. Now, if I was to try to do the same about Warner Brown, you know how far I would get? I could tell you how much minutes in play. I could tell you how much goal him score. I couldn't tell you anything else. And to me, that is a part of the reason why it is so difficult for people to accept that the players that are in the JPL can stand up to the players that play overseas, because they're not scrutinized analytically enough to make a judgment. So what we end up doing is going off of feeling. So I just feel say this baller better than this baller. But my thing is, there will never be any way to get the desired result, I don't think, unless we can seriously look at it without a feelings thing in it. And I don't want to think that it's by design we can't get the stats on the players in Jamaica. But sometimes I wonder if that is it. Because if we could pull up the stats on the players, maybe it would highlight some of the deficiencies that the coaches ended up seeing when they go overseas and can't stay where they go. Because we try to just boil down the football into certain metrics that they can't be contested. This brother scored this amount of goal in this amount of game. But what the important things is, okay, out of the goals where him score, how much big chance was it? What is the expected goals compared to the goals him actually score? You know, how much time him lose possession in a game out of the touches where him have? You know, these things that other places around the world are using to really analyze and pick players and see what makes the difference between a player and a player. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you're a professional or semi-professional even in your sport, that means you have some baseline level of talent. That was never the debate. But the thing is, in 2025 on the world stage in international football, how much can we really rely on just talent? Because I can put a bunch of talent together, you know. If you don't know how to use the talent, it's going to be one mess. You know what I'm saying? Max City says, so Russell declining this call-up simply means, to me, there was a conversation had with Steve and Russell must have said, my son is go. Okay, so I'm more theme thing there, Gold Cup and World Cup qualified. Okay. Gunners boss, big up yourself in the building. He's always saying he's gonna bring the viral moments, you know. Maybe that's why he don't love my channel so much, because we don't really hunt down the viral moments. Chelsea, what them to score? Are them still a lose? Russell declining the call-up must have been a convo with Steve. He must have said, I want to be. Okay. They don't have any backbone, Jason. You're doing this out of love. Others doing it for likes, so they'll push a narrative. That's true. I mean, yeah, we want the likes and thing, and we're not vexed when YouTube send a check, but that's not really the main thing. We don't say the way we do our thing because we're not running that down. It's probably going to take more time, but the good thing about that is when we reach where we reach to the point where, yeah, it's like actually something that is, you know, bringing in a different income for me or my household. We would have gotten there on the foundation of, you know, not viral moments, not something fleeting that will go away when I stop running down the viral moment. These are things that will always be there to be talked about, because I think that there will always be a need to have more information around certain situations and even different perspectives on the information. You know what I'm saying? That's why while I do think that, you know, in a way, it's like a big community. In a way, we can't necessarily try to be one big monolith either. We can't be one big voice. You know, it has to be different voices. So you can have different perspectives, and, you know, those different perspectives having conversations can get us to a place where maybe we are at a better point of some agreement on certain things, you know. Tottenham gone up, boy. The upper long not working, people. Man U and Tottenham leading. Jeez and peace. Onana play for a new contract. What a save. I say, I'm going with things today. Liana run pan Man U, but yeah, then can't pass them yet though. That's the problem. I know Man U good for a counter-attack goal, you know, after them get pressure all game. And Russell not being called have nothing to do with local or diaspora. It was Gordon that gave him to McLaren, and McLaren don't like the player. Simple. Not everything comes down to that. That is true. That is true. So Rob Smith, how come whenever people say that Russell don't get a look in when he gets called, it's because Meran saying too slow. So Meran call him and then tell the coach saying too slow too. Meran confused. Oh, 1-1. Okay, Martin. Big up to Chelsea. I watch Goal Zone, you know, so it's a go from game to game to game. So I'm not really watching no game because obviously I'm focusing more on the program. Jason, you saw the Tijuana FC. I didn't see the game, but I did look back at the. I actually recorded it, you know. So I will watch I really going to watch the 5 minutes Boza play. But I knew it was late, so I do want to get some rest still. So I did tape it. I may not get a chance to watch it yet. Because this morning I did on JD show, and then after that I do some research, and then I've been on here. So I will watch back the time, but yeah, I did see what happened and Zuniga score again. So it's not. I've seen Zuniga play 2 games now, people. Boza in his best form. Him now go take the bread of the game. Not based on how I see the coach trying to play and how Boza play, how I know Boza play. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Like a uptown, downtown thing. Yeah, look, so all the JPL players were called based on merit. So what's the problem? All the JPL players were called based on merit? You mean like in the last window we just had? Really? Okay. I disagree with that. The best players for play, who get best defender award for the last Gold Cup? I don't know who got the best defender award for the last Gold Cup. Are you telling us it was somebody from Jamaica? Never know, say them do that. Or you mean which players made the all CONCACAF all team? You know, like the best 11. That's what you mean? Because it was the Panamanians and the 2 Mexicans, basically. It was Fidel Escobar, Johan Vasquez, Wamisi. So I don't know. I don't know who he was talking about. Maggie should not have been called. Yeah, even if you talk about the JPL player, rotted, Manu 2, can't chat to them. 2 love Manu. Me telling you, man. Leon could have pressured them subtle. Manu good for a counter goal. Watch out, 1 long ball. Oh my gosh, keeper, you couldn't save that. Taliafico just out muscled. And he's wanting a foul, but I don't think he should get one. And then Dallo with a clean strike to the far post. After put, yo, sorry, keeper, may I cuss you, but you couldn't save that out of the rat hole. That's just a good strike. Kind of surprised him too. I think he was going to strike. Him think he was going to strike that one. You see how him bring information about both about one. Some people not get game, man them quiet. Okay, so yeah, say, but me not think BM is that person though. BM bring all BM look on the pessimistic side of every baller, brother. Cause me see BM bring information about all kind of player. So I don't think BM is like that. But I agree, Rob Smith, there are people that only highlight negative for one or the other, whether it's a local or whatever. I agree, Rob. There are people in the space that do that. And again, it's just a defense mechanism, I think. Them feel like the people them need defending. So they come and defend by putting down the other people. Maggie was not called upon no merit, that is true. BM, give us an update on all the players that represent. So CC, agree with Rob. You're good, brother. I'm not talking about you. Yeah, no, I know, Rob. I know. We have had a discussion many times actually. So I know your stance on these things. They used to say King better than Pinnock a long time ago. That is true. Simon himself, one time I remember he made I think we were gonna play like it was either he was doing a combined 11 or something, and he put Damian Lowe and King, and didn't put Pinnock. And I was like, damn, that's amazing. Football politics. Pinnock on the bench is better than any CB we have in Jamaica team. Says Martin. Pinnock is having a poor season by his standards. I would agree, Rob. Very inconsistent. Some of it has been the injury and stuff, but even before the injury, he was making a few more mistakes than normal. That is true. CC, nobody no hate you, man. Relax. They can be resting in Pinnock. Yeah, I don't know if it's rest though, Conrad, to be honest, because he came back and was back from his injury and stuff and was playing, and then Vandenberg was actually injured. So, remember, it's Vandenberg and Collins building up this partnership while he's injured. So really and truly, when Pinnock came back, they needed him back because Vandenberg was also out. So I always had said, when Vandenberg is back fully fit, now that it looks like they have moved him from right back and left back where they were playing him to centre back, it's going to be interesting because Collins is a mainstay. He's been the most solid one around there all season. Him even wearing the armband a lot now, right? So when it's going to be between Vandenberg and Pinnock for that other spot, and it has played out that way. And the last couple of weeks when all of them fit is Vandenberg start. So I don't think it's resting Conrad. I think the man has played his way in front of Pinnock. That's just the truth. That's what it looks like to me. So what's wrong if a person say King better than Pinnock? Something wrong? It's a personal opinion. It's a Travis, but sometimes it's like how you come to that opinion though, Travis. I mean, like you're really watching all of them and think that the guy is better. I mean, damn. I guess that's possible still, but why? I don't know. Martin Baker, tell them again. Pinnock is trained at a higher level like any other CB in our squad. Exactly, my bro. The man them have picked sides. None is better than the other. No, I would agree. The two people them need for temper down to decide them, brother. It's not about the sides. Let's just look at it factually. And if a man have an opinion, he have an opinion. But come on. Yeah, that's why CC take things literal sometimes. That's why I'm saying, brother, sometimes just know say people are troll to man. Leon Bailey was benched on Tuesday. I guess the coach felt he wouldn't impact the game. Damian Lowe played 90 minutes today. Damari is still in poor form. You're happy now? Yeah, BM is somebody that always bringing up all kind of people. BM always asking me if I watch this player play, that player play. And it's not always a certain like heritage or local. No, it's all of the players, bro. BM does up on a lot of the players, which is good. I prefer the BM than the ones that just not even trying to follow the players them. Just leave it to other people to tell them what the players doing, I pick Jamaica. Yeah, that is it. Jamaica is a good thing to pick. Yes, he renewed his contract. Yes, I remember. I wasn't sure if he was still at that graphic art club because I hadn't seen him in so long, but it looks like throughout all his rehab and everything, they still love the kid, man. They got him a contract renewal. That is good. Big up Marlon. Wagwan, bro. There, Y Scout has helped the league domestically, but still more room for improvement for sure, Jason. Clubs have a responsibility as well to hire video analysts and statisticians. That is wonderful that they have the responsibility too. But how many of the clubs, when they say they have the responsibility, is that responsibility for them to do that being enforced? That's the first question. And secondly, what is the... Because one thing to say, I have a video analyst and I have a statistician, but what are they tracking? What stats do they have? Because at face value, Simon, and I know that I am just a person, a layman. I'm not a scout in the professional sense, right? So I don't have access to certain things. But what I can tell you is, even in me trying to do analyst work or statistical work, I'm going to need more than just this. When I go to the JPL website, Simon, currently, and I put in player stats, I see 4 things listed. Games played, or goals, sorry, minutes played, yellow cards, and red cards. I don't see assists. I don't see possession loss per 90. I don't see shots per 90. I don't see successful dribbles. I don't see duel percentage, aerial duels, possession lost. And these are the type of things, Simon, that I think you know because you also have a background in scouting. These are things that have become the great equalizers when places don't necessarily have the assets and the infrastructure and the stadia and the overall professionalism. Something that can bridge that gap is proper tracking and analysis of what the players are doing. Even if your league is not up to the standard, you can bridge that gap by having the analysis meet the world standard, right? We heard mention that we're going to have a partnership with a stat tracking company. That came and went. We haven't heard anything. It's gone silent. Crickets. We can't hear nothing. I'm hearing now that certain clubs have taken on the responsibility and have analysts, have statisticians. So if you're in the Mount Pleasants of the world, the Arnets of the world, some of these clubs that have really taken on to some of these initiatives from the JFF to professionalize their organizations, they might be able to get that information to certain clubs. But this needs to be an across-the-board thing. There's no reason why the Racings of the world, the Dun Beholdens of the world, even the Lime Halls and the Treasure Beaches in Tier 2, it's not that difficult to acquire these type of things. And if it's something that is just too big of an economic task to take, I am guaranteeing you, people that are trying to give in the way of sponsorship, if you put it to them that this is something that can bridge the analytical gap and get us on par with certain places around the world in terms of, we have a player in midfield that's doing excellent this season, and I want to take a look at this guy's season statistically and really break it down. Now, of course, I'm going to get tapes and recordings of his, 10 of his games or 12 of his games, because you always want to look at players over some kind of period of time. You can't just look at 2 games and say this player is this. You have to take the time and watch him play over a span, right? But in order to speed up that process, or in order to make a team even say, okay, I'm going to watch this player now for the next 5 to 10 games to see what he does, things like this are going to be needed, right? I'm going to pull up on here. And I'm not even going to do a league that's crazy. Although, since we've been talking about him today, I'm going to look at Jon Russell SofaScore profile. Okay? I'm going to show you guys on the screen. Because I think things like this, a lot of times we get so caught up on what we can't do in Jamaica. We don't have the money. We don't have the resources. We don't have this. We don't have that. We don't have this. We don't have that, right? All the time you see that. And my thing is, there are things out there that we can actually control, I think. And it's not necessarily going to set us back this crazy way in terms of finance. And one of them is like the statistical tracking things that you can purchase. There's no reason why players can't wear these in training, can't wear these in the games. There's no reason why they can't invest in these things. And, if you're getting sponsors, how about directing the sponsorship to things that we actually know will move the football forward? So instead of just saying we have this company giving money to teams, how about directing that and saying, okay, what company uses statistics and data in their field of work that's in Jamaica right now? Maybe that's a company that would be interested in being the statistical data trackers for the Premier League. And you do a partnership with them. Think outside the box. Try to utilize what we have the best we can. I keep saying we don't do it enough, right? And this is what I'm talking about statistical analysis, right? So this is League One in England. Obviously, a recognized league, so you would think they would have these things. But just look at what SofaScore is able to compile just because they have the tracking devices on the player during the games, right? So this is Jon Russell's heat map for the season. Now, why is a heat map important? It tells you the characteristics of this midfielder. Is he an all-action player? Where are the red spots? Where does he like to receive the ball and touch the ball? Because this basically is showing you where he touches the ball, you know. So the heat map, some people think, is actually where they run. The interesting thing about SofaScore's heat map is it's really, there is another heat map you can find out there in the world when you're looking at stats. But on SofaScore, these are the heat map of where he touched the football. So this is where he's impacting the game on an offensive side, right? Now, there are all these metrics throughout the season, and this is just in the league. You can break it down upon each competition, but this is League One. I'm just going to show you League One. And look at all these things that they have. Starts, minutes per game, team of the week information, right? Total minutes. They can work out all of that. Then you go into attacking. You have obviously goals, but you have how many goals per minute, right? How frequently you score a goal. Goals per game, total shots, shots on target per game. It tell you how much big chance the man missed this season. So him gone 8 goal, but him dash 7 big chance. So him could have gone 10 easy, right? It show him goal conversion percentage, which to me, if you're talking about a striker, attacking player, this is one of the most important stats, which I couldn't tell you Warner Brown goal conversion rate. I couldn't tell you Trevante Stewart own when he led the league in scoring. And these are the things that I think would help the conversation and the argument that these players actually do have a place in the national team. Because again, we have to be able to talk about it from some standpoint besides, you know, some of those feel said about it, they can make it. Is that really and truly good enough of a reason? I don't think so, people. But I'm telling you, it's not. Them being able to compile this data is not because of any huge windfall of money. It is just having certain specific equipment and compiling the data using the equipment. And that equipment is not going to set the JPL or the JFF or whoever will be buying it. It's not going to set them back so far. So people, let me ask you this. If you guys were to try to, if we started an initiative, all these YouTubers out here, we say them want the thing progress. If we start an initiative to raise funds to get the damn tracking things for the club them, and we can say we're going to do 3 leagues. We're going to do all the women's clubs in the first and second tier, all the men's clubs in the first and second tier. That's going to be our contribution. We are going to contribute the damn data where they can put on underneath them shirt and them training shirt and track everything that they're doing. I think that would be a great help to, if we can bridge the gap in actual the level of the league so fast, we can at least bridge the analytical gap, because right now it is too wide. There's no reason in 2025 that the Jamaica Premier League, I don't know. Somebody tell me who lead the league in assists right now. Somebody please tell me that. Who lead the JPL in assists? And how can that be corroborated? Big up Warren. Spring football? No. Devon McDonnell? What I say? These things help the JPL clubs when they get into gear for CONCACAF club assignments as well. Yes, mine at Nick Richards. Yes, we love it. And we know Powell has stated his desire as well. That's another big name that could come. So, Leon, it's all on you this second half, you know. We don't want to hear it. Because United, after them win this round, if them get through, you know, the Europa League is theirs, basically. They're going to tell everybody they won, you know. So, why would you entertain a player who refuses to participate in qualifying to the real deal? He sounds like an opportunist to me. Yeah, Gunners boss, we know that's how you would view it, you know what I mean? But I've given some information today that maybe you weren't privy to. I don't know if that would change anything about how you think, but I'm not telling anybody how to think. I'm just bringing the information. You're giving them man excuses. They're xenophobic. They would come tell you how Zimenez is back in Jamaica, but they won't tell you Tyler Roberts, the non-league. Lord have mercy. But Rob, I don't tell you, say, both of the set of people them do it, you know. It's not just the one side. You're highlighting that side, though, I see. That's true. Different perspectives you're pointing out is right. Because the point of more data is needed for the local game. Warner Brown top scorer, but what else? Exactly. I couldn't tell you where Warner Brown like to collect the ball. I couldn't tell you how many big chances Warner Brown miss. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is sad. If I don't like your content, I unsubscribe. Don't speak information like your homie. Big up, big up, big up. Well, I don't know what fake information you're talking about. You know? I'm not sure. That was not my intention. I don't believe I've spread any kind of fake anything. I Simon, I know your gentleman noticed the plane tickets for Ravel is cheaper if he not. Hey, Conrad. Yeah, but 2 just a seat. Yeah, Dalo. That's why it don't make sense. Remember, the coach said go ahead and pick any player that wasn't at the Copa. So if Russell was called, who called him? People don't make sense. Wait, that's why it don't make sense. Remember, the coach said, Gordon pick any player. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Maggie wasn't on merit. He's at a relegated club of JPL. Escobar and Sanchez, thank you. Yeah, they were the centre backs. That is true. Low made team. Which one? Because the CONCACAF site, when they put up the team of the Gold Cup, Low was in that team. Are you sure? I don't think he was. Simon, let me know. I don't remember Low being on that team. Yes, it's rough on Bowser. He should have stayed in Europe. This reminds me of the Russia move. Maggie going Genki need the caps. Yes, Low made the one before. That's what I thought. It wasn't 2023. Conrad Smith, you're right. Maggie is going to Genk. He's definitely not going to Genk. Oh, he's going to Gank. That's what I see. Not true, Jason. I talk about good and bad. No, I agree. That's why I said BM talks about a lot of the players, honestly. Checking in. Big up, Pastor. Big up yourself. I hope you got through what you needed to do. You said you had some more hours, so hopefully you finish. Rob Smith, he was for the team of the round. Okay. So he did make a round, but not the whole thing. Both assault because he wasn't playing bad. New coach don't have him in his plans. Rob Smith, your soul is poisoned. Jeez, you first started to create all narrative on YouTube. You're looking YouTubers to control. I see. Let's see who bites your bait. Oh, Lord. Nobody is saying Pinnock is a bad player. He's having a bad season, and people don't speak about it the way they speak about Bailey. Interesting. I really get into them videos so much, you know. So, yeah. And I know you say it's not me, but BM don't listen to him. Truth and Rob Smith ain't in the same park, I believe. I saw me powerful. I didn't know. I guess I'm trying to program Jason Gooner. If me tell lie, tell me boss. If you watch a game, break it down. That's it, period. Yes, thank you. That's how me see it. Break down the damn game. If the man do foolishness, me break down say him do foolishness. I don't business where the man live, where him born, none of them things there. And anybody will watch my content supposed to know that is it. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, them not war, man. But every now and again, you know, them have them little spots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't see what the big deal is, to be honest. I guess the way Rob Smith see it is basically he's saying what him see the problem is. Him don't think that him beat down. Well, not him beat down, but in his estimation, it's downplayed when certain players do things not the best, and it's overplayed when certain players do things not the best. And I just feel like Patakal kick the block a lot of time in these situations because the same people who are complaining about that do it in the other way. So, you know, it is what it is. Maggie should try getting a move to Liga MX or a club in South America. I don't see any clubs in Europe trying to sign Maggie. People learning to watch games, Travis. Rob need to stop bullying them. It's more people interested in the team. That is true. More people, I see more people on these programs asking the questions that would lead me to believe they're actually watching some games. So that is very good. As speaking facts, brother, we have to report balance. We can't bash Bailey when him levels drop and give Pinnock a pass. I respect your analysis, so you know me I tell the truth. Okay. So that is good that some respect is shown. That is wonderful. He's going to need a lot of help. His style is getting outdated. Oh yeah, Maggie. Yes, Maggie. The luxury 10 player is going out of style. That is true. I max it the man them don't watch game. Big deal. Then I fight me right now saying pin up now get bench. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Agreed. Tell Lansley stop disrespect JPL players, but they not have no data to play for Jamaica national team. He's one who are cast divisions and YouTube streams. Well, see, that's the thing, Travis, because Lansley basically said this morning on the show that me just find a fancy way to say what he must say. And in a way, it's true, because I'm not coming out blank and saying, listen, no JPL player can't play. But what I'm saying is it just makes it more difficult for people who are analytically involved in football to accept that when we're picking the team, we're going to have, so many JPL players in it. It just doesn't make sense statistically or analytically when you look at the player pool. It just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And for obvious reasons, we can't dig deep enough into the statistical data to say, yes, this player actually would be more effective than this player. And the players that we have the information on is like we don't want to use those players. So it's a bit strange sometimes. But yeah, but I feel like hopefully I realize that even though I'm saying this is a deficiency for us, I am trying to give you how we cannot have the deficiency. So I'm not just saying it must stay this way. No, I'm saying we can get the information because that information is actually financially attainable. It's not like we have to build 20 stadium to get this data. And that's what I hear people always saying holding us back is the stadium and the infrastructure. Yes, that don't help, but at least we can get closer data-wise to the world because we can track people with some simple things and it's not going to bankrupt people to get these things going. You know what I'm saying? I've done videos on Bailey for a month talking on his performance without scoring. No one cares. You should understand the culture's liking. Yes, that's true because on Bailey, even this season when he's not scoring goal, JD is cussing people in the comment section saying, but I like this season more than last year in some aspects, and they're like, you're a madman. No, they watch highlights. That is true too. Conrad Smith, you're right. The classic 10 is a thing of the past. Yes, that is true. If Pinnock plays bad, it's not hard to say so because they do take it differently than your favorites. Okay. So it's more difficult to come out and talk bad about Bailey, is what JD is saying. Okay. I watch your videos because I like how you break down games, but I can't deal with your lives. Oh, because the people them too biased and it's diaspora and local. Okay. So, and that's interesting, Rob, that you like when he does the shorter form videos and don't have the conversation with the chat because you respect how he break down the game. But when it gets to the live conversation, it becomes too toxic for you. Okay. And JD has actually acknowledged this on the shows, And if you notice from where it's not as every now and again a man say a mad thing and JD have to try burn it out and stuff, but it's not as much like that lately. Oh, what a chop by Garnacho. And him never finish. Jeez, him deserve to score that after that chop there. The man just chop. I think it wasn't Ainsley him chop. Yo, what kind of foul that? A rugby. People getting them feelings. He's Jamaica, best CB. That's not even the discussion. I'm just talking about his club performance. Yeah, okay. I see it. I understand it's improving. Maybe I need to add more topics that the arguments could lead elsewhere. Look at today, we're talking basketball chances for Jamaica. Yeah, okay. So, and that's why conversation important, Look there, me just get enlightened as to Rob's standpoint as to like why him feel a certain way. And it's not necessarily maybe even JD delivery of the content. It's the people them in the comment section that him have to war. Okay. Declare for Jamaica with too enough wine and everything. But Rob, to say Pinnock is having a bad wouldn't be true. Having a lesser season than the previous would be correct. More would agree. Okay. Because of its total, he started the season as one of the best defenders. I've learned that today and I'm excited. So I want Jamaica to do good. Yeah, man, this news about the Jamaica basketball definitely build a vibes. Yo, Legia Warsaw not giving up 4-2 on aggregate. those who have access to the Y Scout have a better idea. That is true. They do. So them are getting in the argument now. The man had 4 errors in 21 games compared to 6 in his first 3 seasons. His levels have dropped. I'm not happy to say that because it's not good for Jamaica. Listening and gunners, that dude is a born problem. Big deal, Len. JD run your off him channel, brother. Yes, so I'm gonna break it down that way. Those errors came in back to back, so it's hard to say season, but it's not the best season. They call me Billy Pinnock, so I can't talk. He our best. We got Pinnock. He playing at the highest level. Okay. Jason, do you agree it's a Chelsea versus Fiorentina final? Imagine Fiorentina going to 3 finals and losing. When I look at the Conference League, you know, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say. I mean, they are the two, you know, more known teams. But I want to say the semi-final going to be more challenging for both of them, you know, than this leg. You know, and even Fiorentina, they are not really. I wouldn't say they are just like taking over. You know, they barely got through their quarterfinal. You know, and how the semi-final going to set. That's going to be important too. So it's going to be Fiorentina and Betis. Okay, so these other two will play each other. No, so in that 2 leg, I like Betis over Fiorentina, to be honest. So I like the Spanish team over the Italian team in that one. And then I guess Chelsea going to have to face Rapid or the other team a lead. I think the other team still up on aggregate 2-1, no? No, Rapid a lead. How the first leg that did go? And aggregate is 2-1. Okay, so Jurgarden need 1 more goal. Yeah, I actually think it's gonna be Chelsea and Real Betis in the final. That's what I would say. Yeah, Travis, big match. Hopefully it will be on Sportsmax. Yeah, if them go down Draxal, but you know, Monday night at Sportsmax thing normally. But hopefully then give you a 1 match on Sundays. I do want to see that more pleasant Moby again. That should be good. Where it says it's a money pull-up settings. Maggie need to focus on himself. Travis, your boy can make Charlton bench when players are fit. Yeah, them a link up Sunday at the game. All right. There's the Travis and Pasta beef different. No, a true thing still. Jason, there's a lot going on with the girls team, the coach, the federation, and the players themselves. Also, there will be a crazy announcement coming soon. It will shock some people, but not everyone. Oh, Jeremy Lee always dropping a bombshell, but kind of dropping it, you know. But it's okay. Don't drop it here. Let it drop where it's supposed to drop. And we will, as I say, I'm the information person. So when the bombshell them drop and the shrapnel get cleaned up, and you know everybody is trying to figure out what happened, I will just drop the information so people can try to figure out what actually happened. Yo, I don't know how Rangers not scoring this damn game. Cheese and peas them salt. Man, them hit the post, hit the keeper, hit the teammate. No, sir. Rob Smith say, Len chat too much. John or Len, how the people them do you, bro? Or what you do the people them, I should say. Maggie needs a lot of work. Defensively, he's very poor. Physically, he's weak. Also, his numbers aren't great offensively. People should tell these players the truth and stop with the overhyping. Yeah, it's tough, man. People gonna do what they want to do, you know. Respect for the like them on the video, people. Never to take up much time talking about that, but we do appreciate the people smashing the like button. That is very, very great that you guys did that. How we used to pick teams before this explosion of data in modern football. Don't we not pick the team off a feeling, brother? We just pick feelings. Feelings pick people. Feelings pick people. And I think a lot of time too it was relationships. So, it depended on, what club you're playing with and how many of those clubs members are inside the JFF thing. And, that it always came down to that. When you look at who was the Gensec back then, the running narrative was Portmore get all of them play them in it because Harris Reid over there, so it's always been a thing, I don't think it's as much now because we're a little more data driven. So you can't just full up team with people and get away with it. Maybe you can get, couple here and there, but I don't think it will fly anymore to just do whatever you want based off of feelings, I don't think it will fly. I know one of your players can make it overseas. Jano, Krishna Ram fit talk things to people, brother. Jeez and peace. The man say no beef, pork and chicken. I was thinking about going to the games later. Oh yeah, them have some rescheduled game today, no? Who I play today? The information, true information is I love the viral moments, not a fact I don't like your channel. Colin Coulthard. Colin Coulthard. Jaja. Man said no ale for your big deal. Waltham badness. At this why the people them say, me buy out Len, cause Len say me I top scout, Garnacho miss, yeah, bro. Me see that chance. The man chop the man clean and still miss. We say real football and this man calling American football real football, Gunners boss will love Jamaicans to the ground and not like nothing we born a foreign, And look what him call football. See Gunners boss I want walk in contradiction. The man love everything we born a Jamaica, grow a Jamaica, live a Jamaica, turn a Jamaica. And yet still the man love every sport. We are a Jamaican sport more than Jamaican football. Every time him go up on a person chat, he might tell me about Bulls and Heat. He might tell me about college football team and college women basketball. But yet still, when we are talking about player, we don't talk about no player. We're outside of Jamaica. You see how the man stay? Oh, tell me if that makes sense. We say, you don't want him back. No worry, man. Len go show up, man. Len just love the thing, brother. So Len go show up. Anytime people are talking about Jamaica football, Len will be there. He's definitely a fan. That is a fact. Garnacho miss a great chance. Yeah, me see it. So Chelsea concede again, or still the same 2-1. Yo, Chelsea not easy, They say Cephas don't play ball, attracts him run. Don't do Cephas that, man. Cephas improve from one time a lot. Still have more to do, but he improve a lot, man. Like you see from the time when he played for against USA in the Nations League finals to like this last window him just play. Cephas get a lot better, brother. Yes, him still get some headache, but him get better. So if him keep on doing that, then I could see it getting better, to be honest. Look like Lazio look for draw the tie now. Travis and Pastor got have them war now. The 5,078th battle of Pastor and Travis resuming in the comment section today. Yeah, first verse second should be good. But it's not because it's a rescheduled game, it probably won't be. No, but you're talking about the Sunday game. Okay. Do you think? No, I think Lazio is actually going to beat them in this game. Like they're going to turn this around. Based on what me I see on the trajectory of how the game I go, I feel like them are going to actually score another goal. Oh, Ramiro almost put it pretty much away for Tottenham, Oh, man, missed that. Oh, the keeper came and couldn't get to it. Tyrese is better than Cephas Brown, and if those JPL players, McLaren is a clown. Trouble ahead for the Reggae Girlz. Yeah, man. I see similar. We're going to need for, I would buy Cephas a neck brace. Keep him head up and him good. Now, man, I see a little bit improvement, man. God, trust me, it was really bad the first couple times, man. And people were just praising him because, to be fair, in that USA game when we were bunker down with Halgrims in them and playing the counter style and thing, he was the only one really looking like he was going to do something. But the problem was, that was just a byproduct of him just being so damn fast. But we kick the ball up the field, must chase it. But that's not, you can't replicate them thing there. That's not something that's going to happen from time to time in game. It just don't happen like that. It happened that day because they were so on top of us and so many people forward. Yes, one long ball and Cephas chasing it was a good tactic, but that's not a tactic you would use in games normally, because teams are just going to be pushed all the way up the field like that. So, yeah, I just sometimes I just feel like Waffle. Okay, this is tonight. Thank you. Rotted. So them, but a too wicked game that where the game now play on it. Brother, if I on it, them game they play. Please tell me Sportsmax will show them game there. Those are two games I would actually watch. Like literally would like to watch those games. Cavalier and Racing. To me, Racing I play some of the best ball in the league right now. Like in terms of the football playing. And Cavalier, you don't know, them have the players and the experience to make the game nice and proper, and they're gonna have a style, and it's gonna be structured football. And same with Arnett and Mount Pleasant, two structured teams as well. So I would watch those two games. Those are two decent games to watch. Because Racing need to try to win them, trying to get to playoffs. Cavalier, obviously them probably safe at this point, but them would have want to go into the playoffs with a little momentum, at least more than what they have had like lately. So yeah, I'll have to hopefully it on Sportsmax. That would be nice. See if it's an international player. Campbell isn't at the moment, so I can't compare the players. Campbell just want to come represent Jamaica. Okay. Man, I don't think people running the football in no position to assess players. I think that's a big issue, Chris Smith. Some of these people that them say dealing with the players, I agree. I don't know if they're looking at them the proper ways. I agree. Big deal then. You still a worry about JD a cuss with your brother. It's a big trolling session the two of them are going with. Stop taking it so literal, no brother. Tottenham is garbage in the EPL and balling in Europa League. It has to be studied. And not them alone. Look for Man U. Have Leon down too love, even though Leon is doing trash in the league as well. Because them up and down like, wow, in another league there. I'm the only one that thinks that the people that always got an issue with when someone says that JPL players not at the level, don't think anything wrong with even think them at the level. Yeah, I don't think you're the only one. Man, I remember the 17th of April, Jason. Please remember this. We're going to track Cephas and Tyrese Campbell and see who is going progress in football more. All right. So Chris Smith said, mark the date when him said that Tyrese Campbell going to go past Cephas. All right. Let peace reign. JA need 10 Jason and 10 JD. JFF, no forget back breathing space. True, man. The more people with the information to bring without we not tell you which part fit go with the information. Just listen it and receive it. And then do with it what you will. That man was sent by a clown in WhatsApp group to make narrative on my channel. Jamaica need. It was big deal now with him foolishness. Down a jungle, but no Sportsmax. Damn. So Jean-Pierre, does that mean that the streamers of the day can, turn on them cameras, or that now play again like our Sportsmax start show game again? Let me know. Marlon, that is a lie. Ask JD how long. No, I told him Campbell want to play for Jamaica. That is true. When the minute the man got Charlton, it's about three. They were like, it's about 4 to 5 other Charlton players besides Karai Anderson there right now. So from long time, man. Style me. Stop using Jason name for your friend them narrative. Yes, stop include me in this narrative business. Because I have nothing to do with none of that. Do you see any hope for Richarlison with Brazil? No, not if me have anything to do with it. A JD ball that, him say Richarlison is the most fight against player. But I tell him he was just in a rich vein that time. He caught some form at the perfect time to make the World Cup, score a big goal in the World Cup, and it's like people forget how the man play football other than them time there. Look how long the man there and can't do what he's supposed to do at all the places them where him go. Remember, Tyrese Campbell going to reach places in football because Chelsea Fulham looking at the player. Bless up Ball Pre-TV. Big up yourself. I said Campbell want to play. Okay. JD a troll yelling. Yeah, that's me don't know why Leonard take it so literal. But me think Leonard troll too, to be honest, Anybody that watch Cephas and Campbell that knows football knows that Campbell is a better player. Nana card tracker, only one in the last 11. Man adjusted. Rob Smith telling the people that Nana turn over a new leaf. Him stop move like him idol Rudiger now. Or him did say him never like Rudiger. Where did he go? Which one of the Tyrese Campbells? There's like a half dozen. No, so there's only one Tyrese with a C Campbell, and he play for Charlton. Tyrese with a S, him there Sheffield United, and that's Darren Campbell's son. Not Darren Campbell, Kevin Campbell's son that passed away. Sleep in peace to Kevin Campbell. Man, I'm just saying Campbell can make an impact in CONCACAF right now. That I will agree with. I think he could as well. Now I have no friend on YouTube, bro. Don't know one on YouTube. Just to let the people know that Jason is a pro license scout. Unseen at the new Sports Max. Yeah, Unseen and BAM Sports. I want to give the credit, are the viewers, But BAM Sport like him bandwidth now work with him when he go live, brother. I'm thinking them always a jump round and a chop. I'm say Unseen one clear and bright and so I have to work with Unseen clear and bright picture because at the end of the day I'm trying to see the damn game. But me that try give BAM the strength. But BAM need to sort out the live thing, man. Man, wanna know. Me know you rich, my general, and you try to make the rest rich like you. The league don't want us to stream, but there will be a one brave man later for tonight's matches. He confirmed. Nice. Well, whoever that brave man there is, me know you can't to, you can't to push it out there so the people might watch for you. But hopefully, some kind of way me get the correspondence where they match them there. Or if you wanted us Instagram Jason Gooner TV direct so I can know and I can watch the game, please and thanks. And me will drop my like and my subs and all of them things, IT push same there. IT push late for class 2.5 hours. I'm gone now, cause I have to get ready for training. Julia training later. Big. I'm gonna play the second place team in our table this weekend. So last day of training today, they need to work on some things. Cause last time about that side, there are 5 we get in the fall season, now spring. And we want to see if we make some improvements, But I say like this team is probably like a England in the rankings, and we rank more like a Mexico. But even I go say we are Jamaica. We have team lower than we in the rankings. So some other Jamaica they in the rankings. But I say we're there like a level of Mexico. Like we're improving, but we're not reach the top team them yet. So this is going to be a nice check to see where the levels reach. So I'm looking forward to this game with this weekend. What's funny is Richarlison had 0 goals in EPL for Spurs when he played in the World Cup. He scored 3 goals and looked world class in the World Cup. Yeah, it was crazy. And then after that, him just could never get fit again. But me always did see some problems in him game. Leon finally get a goal. Rated. Lacazette, Taliso. Now I play some head tennis. Low playing USL, MLS in Egypt, now Saudi Arabia. King went to Iceland and flop. Nana always hold on a club. Pure fake news for 50 years to read. The only Campbell that should be playing for Jamaica now is Norman Campbell. So that's BN's opinion on all of these Campbells. Low is way better than King. All right. Damian Low, that is, I'm thinking, yeah. I know who you are and I know who JD is. Just let peace reign. Big deal. You make Low block you in your how hard you go at times. Yeah, sometimes Len no ram for cause the people and for true, you know. So JD say, yo, Len, you have some ulterior motive and you go on like him now. No. I don't know nothing about them thing there, brother. Max City, don't be disappointed in them as yet, man. See Thiago Almada them start turn up, you know. This is gonna be Simon right now. I watch this. And him probably, you know, I hope him have like a kerchief and water and them thing like I mean, no him a sweat. Yeah, man. Leon look like them out for score any minute now, brother. Ball alone can't do it. That is why Nana always have club because he can defend. By the way, Jason, I asked about why Sportsmax app don't work abroad, and that's because you should be using their US app called St TV. Thank you for that, Mr. Jampiel fan, because I people think I am cheap and only want to watch the Sportsmax Plus, but I didn't sign up for payment of the other one because I had too much issues with the plus one. So I'm like, I'm not buying something just to have issues. So you're saying I should not go through the Sportsmax app. I should go through the scene and get access to all of it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marlon Jampiel fan, for that. Because I was wondering why the hell I can't get these things, man. Anyhow, people, as I say, them I have to get ready for training. Take Julie over there. I have something they want to work on before training with her. So let me make sure we have the time to do so. So people, big up and thanks for the support. All the people them well have them trolling war and everything. It's over, people. Unless you don't want to continue. I don't know who I've shown now, but people, I'm gonna go support all the people and I drop the content. But please remember to make sure that we are trying to hold them accountable at the same time. It don't make sense you pick and choose what YouTubers you want to hold accountable, right? So that's my one advice to all the subscribers and the fan base. You know, all of us merge subscribers and enough we watch a lot of different people in the space. Keep the same energy for all the people them. If there's something that one of your somebody who you support and say, yes, me like their content, how them do them thing, that don't mean that me above people challenging me. And I want you guys to have that same energy with everybody, not just certain people, not just people where me no agree with. Just keep the same energy with everybody, because I think that standard that we're trying to have, or that some of us trying to have, is the right way to go. And the more credible we can become in terms of the information we bring, I think the better off it will be for everybody that actually tunes in and tries to gather this information through all these various platforms, right? So people, hold us accountable, hold us accountable, hold us accountable. Don't just accept anything we're bringing to you guys. And I think, oh, Onana with a mistake. Go. Jeez, yo. Old Trafford afraid. Oh, here's the counter though. This is the problem with damn United, man. Okay, not this time, Garnacho. You can't want to run past the man every damn time. Hey, this Man U game were exciting. I go watch the rest of it. I come off for this goal or something and no stay up on this. Okay, look like Frankfurt I let me down. Even though Tottenham only have the 1 goal advantage, you know, so anything can play this. So Lazio going to let me down too, because Bodo Glimt still have the little advantage. Yo, hey, one thing Lenny Yoram rate that defensive, the man fall down, you know, and put him face in the line of the shot. Literally just put him face in the way, you know. Yo. Yeah, man, the upper long them nice, JD, man. Stop going like, you know, like the upper long thing. Tual, what you saying to me? Hey, that means me's a good analyst, man. Look how long me I telling you Leon go and get back into the game. 2-2. So Onana make a next mistake. No, I don't complain about it. It's a part of it. I'm just saying, if Man U and Tottenham get through this, I will not come out tomorrow and hate on them getting through. That's all. But while the game are going, I can tell you, and it's not me hating. I've seen the first leg, and I've watched piece of this second leg, and to me, Leon playing better than them. Man U not playing badly, you know. But I would say Leon playing better. Yeah, so because I'm doing this goal rush thing where they go from game to game, I don't see the 2-all yet. Right now, them showing me Lazio trying to score a goal. See them gone back to the Man U game here now, so they must score now. So let's see how it score. Tolisso in midfield. Central to the big man from the US, Tana Tessman. All right, two that now on the right side now. Shirky that. Tolisso again. Wide. Fofana off the bench. This is a skill box, you know, man. Chop. Once again. Stand him up. Right foot cross back post. Far post. Oh, Onana leaves it on the doorstep for Lacazette. But to be honest, you know, Onana can cause him defense, brother. How the ball they go cross the box, the man miskick it, him save it, and the first two people for react are the man on the far post for Leon and Lacazette. When the three Man United defender they then no, Onana, Jano. But people are cuss Onana and say yes, him couldn't handle that better and push it out. But I mean, it was a reaction save. The goal was empty, and the man miskick it and give Onana a chance to even try to save it. But Lenny Euro, Harry Maguire, and who that? Luke Shaw. Them just stand up better. Look upon them. Look on Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. And the ball was in the goal already. So Tagliafico actually scored. So Tagliafico actually scored the goal. So Onana tried to save the ball. It was already in the goal. And then the rebound. But brother, look upon Maguire and Luke Shaw, brother. The man them just rooted to the ground. The man them rooted to the ground, and like I said, go around them and get the rebound. Yeah, Tagliafico, not Tolisso, Tagliafico, yeah. Wow. But people, I'm gonna watch the rest of this, you know. I can't stay here and hate along. I have to get ready to go to training, people. I now miss out my little pre-training time, you know, because when training time starts, you know, I have to give over the reins to the actual coach, because even though man's no football, you know, I don't overstep my bounds in this team. They have a coach, and I don't have time to be the coach, so I don't become the coach. So I'm not going to, you know, be one of those parents trying to tell the damn coach what to do. Even though some of the other parents don't mind if I tell the coach some things, but I don't take advantage, people. I don't take advantage. Don't listen to them, people. JD will tell us me coach a team because make me have talk over the coach. Don't believe him, people. He's lying. He's lying. Yeah, he shouldn't have went to United, but a lot of players shouldn't have went to United. Is Frankfurt going to score, people? It look like them will want to score, you know. Oh, far post. Back across. Oh my gosh, how that never score. That go past the post by that much from Frankfurt. Come on, Frankfurt. Come on, Leon. Make them ball. All right, people, serious note. Blessings, manners and respect all those who tune in. JD, thanks again for the super chat. We really do greatly appreciate it. Everybody else in the comment section that was a part of this show, we really do appreciate all the things. I didn't get a chance to name out everybody's comment, but I tried my best to keep up with the conversation with the comment section. And thanks again to all those who tuned in. We are on about, 70 odd likes now. We're hoping we could get to the 100, but hopefully, I know this show, the word will get around that this was a good program. People will come, and even if they sift around and try to find their parts that they want to hear, they will watch it. So when you do that, people, please do smash the like button. This video can still get to the 100 likes after the fact, all right? So big up, everybody in the comment section. Really do appreciate the support. And until next time, people, I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. I will see you guys tomorrow night on the platform for the EPL preview show. We don't have much of a title race. We don't have much of a relegation race. But what we can track is the top 5 battle, people. It should be an incredible one. So tune in here tomorrow night to get the prediction show, all the team news, everything. And we're going to look at the FPL as well. Had a decent FPL week, made some good choices. I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, people? So big up on yourself. Thanks again for the support. Again, I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And until next time, we're out of there, people. Blessings.